we go. So, welcome everybody for the second part of groups and setting up the itineraries and landing pages. Last week we worked on the itinerary portion, and this week we're going to do landing pages, the sign up forms, and then I'm going to show you what to do with them afterwards, some ways to update things and that type of stuff. So, we're going to hopefully cover a lot of stuff here that is going to be very helpful to you. First thing, I just want to go over a few things. Kat Barnes here is again with us to help assist. She's going to be watching the chat for me, along with Cody Flowers, who is a new group expert with Turn. And I'm not sure if I'm looking to see. Oh, and Jennifer is here. Yay. So Jennifer Davis is also here, and she is going to be uh, also answering questions. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you guys to kind of hold off on your questions because I really have tried to very much make sure that I'm going to go through and answer everything. For those of you that maybe came in just a few minutes later, I'm actually going to put something back up so you can kind of see what we're going to be going through. So first off, this is going to be kind of our outline. And it's likely that the question you have is going to get answered at some point later in the presentation and the demos and stuff like that. So I'm going to ask you that if you're in a place and we're working on, say, the cruise landing page, and I do something, but you want to know something that completely is different from what we're doing right there, make a note, write a note down, because at the very end, I am going to go through and answer all the questions and answers. Now, if you have a question on something that I just did and you need me to repeat it or to show that again, absolutely ask that, because then Kat's going to pop on and say, "Hey, Chloe, can you demo that again?" Or something along
Hey,
that
hey,
lines.
Chloe. You don't have anything on your screen.
Well, you know what? That's going to be kind of hard for you guys to see if I don't share my screen. The little things.
That was a perfect setup,
Yes.
wasn't
So,
it?
for an example, that was I want you to know she and I practiced that for like what, an hour. Perfect timing. No, now yeah, you can see it now. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, as we're going through, I just want you guys to keep that in mind. If you're working along and you miss something, just stop what you're doing and watch the rest of it, and then come back and say, "Can you repeat that?" Because then you're going to know the steps that come after. So many times we miss something and we get so stressed up about what we just missed that we forget to watch the rest of it. It's kind of like how sometimes you ask a question and then you forget to wait for the answer. Kind of the same process. So just give yourself a little bit of time. Remember to just not panic. We'll go back, we'll look at it. So what we're going to do then is we're first going to build the landing pages and the self-sign up forms. We're going to start with the cruise, then the land, and the resort. And we're going to try to do something a little bit different with each, depending on the situation, realizing that these can be modified to any option, but I want to give you some different looks and some different things that so that you can know moving forward what will work for you. Remember, this is not the only way to do it. This is one way to do it. And you may find a way to tweak the situation that you are doing right now, or you may say, "Oh, I hadn't thought about that," or "This might make this work better." So those are what those are. We're also going to show you how to create and add a group workflow, because many times for a trip, we need specific things done for that trip. Then, after we get those all set up, I'm going to show you how to go through, test those links and pages before you send them to your client. So you can make sure you know exactly what your client is seeing when they get that link, they get that landing page link. Because it's nothing worse than having a person come back and say nothing works. So if you test it out first, you're going to know if there's any issues. Then comes after they signed up, we're going to start going into the sub trips a little bit. We're going to talk about adding insurance after the thing, after the sign up. We're going to talk about people that want to split payments and also customizing within those sub trips. I'm going to show you how to be able to update group itineraries from, right now we don't have a thing where we can update the group itinerary and have it move down. I'm going to show you some tips and tricks of ways to be able to do that so it's not so overwhelming. I'm also gonna show you what are the things that you should or could do after they're booked to be able to make everything easier going forward. And of course, like I said, we're gonna do questions and answers at the very end, and I will stay longer if we need to. I literally have blocked my afternoon just in case we needed to, because I want to make sure that you understand all the different forms. Because I know sometimes you'll hear it the first time and you might just need some clarification, or we may have missed something that you really do want to learn, or you just need to have, like I said, just need some clarification. So that's what we're going to do. Again, thank you to Kat and Cody and to Jennifer for being in to help answer some of the quick questions, because sometimes you'll ask a question there I can just say, it's on the right side or whatever. It's going to be an easy one. So we're going to get set up here and ready to go. Let me get rid of I have a bunch of extra stuff here I don't need right now. Okay, and we're going to go back to, I'm just going to get rid of that. And I'm going to go over the top of that. Let's see, now you guys are seeing, let me see what you're seeing. Okay, I just want to make sure I know where you're at. I am actually going to stop sharing, and I'm going to go into sharing just a specific window that will make it easier for you to be able to see what is going on. Okay, and share. Ta-da, there we go. There it came in. So we're going to start with building landing pages. Before we get to that, I do want to go back on, for those who were here for my blooper reel last week, where I totally messed up the ad and adult. I finally realized what I did. It was something I had gone back to a previous step that didn't work and forgot to teach you the step that I figured out that did work. Sure, that's never happened to any of you, but I'm just going to open up the Star of the Seas, because this is where I have fixed this at. And what it ended up being is that I needed to not, I needed to go ahead in my stateroom. And I know that you guys will need to go back. And you know how I said I don't ever edit my videos? Totally edit it. Badly done, but hopefully it gets the point across. And I'm going to show you I showed you exactly how to do that. But basically, real quick thing is I went back, added the rates for double, triple, and quadruple occupancy, and I made sure that I added on the deposit for the third and fourth passengers, and that it's required if they have a third person and fourth person added. That's all I did. Again, if you want to see that in more detail, go back to last week's video. You can even zoom ahead to the part that it's very obvious. I stopped, I did a video, inserted it in there, and then I went back. So it will be easy for you to be able to go and look at that. But we're going to go ahead and start with the cruise landing page. So after you've set up your itinerary and have it looking the way you want to, you now have, you now have the landing page. I'm going to pull up my little step by I kind of created a little cheat so I can copy and paste so you guys don't have to watch me go through and type a bazillion things. So when you're doing your different landing pages, you're going to want to kind of decide and determine what type is it. There's going to be three types, and I'm going to show you one. One is a family reunion. This is basically everybody knows everything. You're not going to probably have to do as much. There's one that a client's come to you and said, hey, this is where we want to go. This is what we want to do. We're taking a group, and you're just setting that up, giving them some information, but they're going to still self-register. And then there's the one that's just like you're promoting it. You're going to go out and you want to maybe make it look a little bit more, a little more. So we're going to go ahead and start with this. The page title is going to be literally, it's just what's across the front. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to just add the page title. And for this one, it is a VIP cruise, and it is the number 3 one. And the reason we put number 3 is because they want to make sure that they know that this is the 3rd one they're doing. So they're going to be going on the 3rd one. It's kind of like a 3rd anniversary, maybe. I don't know. So we're going to click on this, and I'm copying in. And in the overview should be short, to the point, tell you a little bit about what's going on, who's invited, all these different things. It's fun to add in emojis. It's fun now with the new editor. You can bold, you can change things into colors and really make this eye-popping. This is not where you put all the information for everything on it. This is just kind of the eye catcher to get them invited, excited, and want to be able to go on this trip. Okay. The next part is the featured images. The featured images are the pieces that are going to go across the top of the actual landing page. So it's going to be those featured images that people are going to see that you want to make sure is nice. Now I have cheated, of course, and gone and already found the images that I'm going to use. Now, if you have not done that, that is okay. You can go ahead and go find them, or you can use the excuse me, you can use the selections that they have on the actual, I lost the one that I wanted. I apologize. Where did I put that? Oh, I'll get the ones that I have on here. There's one I'm missing, but I'll just add them all in here and we'll be okay. Let me get one. And I can add, and I do recommend on these that you add at least 5 on ones that are going to be a promotional kind, for instance, or possibly one that they've got a group coming or something along that lines that they want to make sure everybody kind of knows about it. So 5 is a good layout. You can do less, you can do more. It doesn't matter there, that's up to you. So we're going to go ahead and just do this. And you know what? I actually want to change my order. So I'm going to actually move the perfect day up here to the front. And you'll notice when I try to move it up here, oh, it did that time. Sometimes it doesn't want to move. You can just go ahead and try it the other way. Let me stop for just a second to show you. Again, we have the title, we have the overview, and we have the featured images. I want to show you what that looks like on the page so you can really understand the pieces you're working on. So right now, these are the featured images. This is what the clients are going to see. Excuse me. This is the title of the page. And this is the, oh goodness gracious, just a second. Sorry. And this is the overview area. And then of course, the next thing they're going to see is the itinerary, which you've already built out. You don't have to show it right now if you don't want to. I mean, we're not going to worry about what's there. But anyway, I just wanted to show you what this first little section shows. They call this the hero section. This is the place that's really important to get those pieces right. So you may, if you ever look at landing page things that talk about the hero section, and that is the piece we just filled out. Okay. So the next section we have is we can go down here. We can add additional information. And all you have to do for that is click on Add Section. Now, again, you can put a title in here. And I apologize. There was a lady on, I don't know, I think it was Stephanie. I can't remember which Stephanie it was. She had a way that she was able to blank this out, and she uses a picture for this section. I apologize. I don't have that stuff, but hopefully she'll pop in sometime and be able to remind me, or I'll go back and look at the old video. Anyway, so this is something we have, the Star of the Seas. I just want to tell them this is what they're going to be on. This is just a little bit of information. And again, I have gone and I've copied all this information. I mean, I've created this information before here. So I realize I'm doing it very quickly. I've already had it created. I went through and added the pieces that I want to. What I a lot of times will go in and do is write a section up. And then I put it in my Chat GPT and say, make it pretty and, zhuzh it up a little bit. So that's what I do. So that section is done. And I choose different sections. And the sections, when you're doing this, think about what you want your client to know. Don't worry about the order because you can always move them if you need to. So as you think of sections, you can go ahead and just add them in. So this one right now, I want to make sure I'm also talking about some of the things that are on the ship a little bit, because again, this is a group that we want to make sure is excited about going. They want to go and have a lot of fun. But on this one, it's entertainment and show-stopping entertainment in life. But this time I want to add a photo, and I'm going to add just a single photo that I have added to my that I have found. I've gone through, and I will tell you that this photo is something that I created in Canva. So that's why it's already all formatted and stuff. We are not able to do that right now in our piece here to be able to get these different sizes and stuff. So I created it in Canva and I saved it first. And I don't want to just put the picture there. I also want to tell a little bit about it. So I'm also going to add some information here. Whoops, add entertainment photo. I already did that. Okay, so anyway, this just shows a little bit of an area. I could put that wording above, or I can put it below, whichever you want to. I'm also going to go ahead and add another section. This is on a cruise. I always like to do a little bit about the dining, just because, you know, cruises are so much about the food. It's, you know, it really is. A lot of people talk about that a lot. It's a lot about the food. So I'm going to add that information here. And then, oh, you know what? I realized I also want to add um, a picture here. So, whoops, I'm going to undo that. Did you notice that? I didn't mean to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add the dining. And this time I'm going to have it go above it. Normally I would keep it the same all the way through, but I wanted to show you that you can also insert it above it. And let's get rid of that bullet. And there we go. So I have it. Oh, I'm sorry, I did have it go below it. If I would have wanted it below it and keep the words above it, I would have printed or copied it below it. Sorry. So now we've got that section. And then we have another little section that I want to do. It's a big ship. There's lots of places to go. Again, we want to give a little bit of more information. And you'll notice none of the information that I'm giving them is a huge amount. It's just a little bit. This time I'm not even going to include words. I'm just going to add that. I'm just going to insert an image. And it's on that image, I actually tell what each neighborhood is. And so that's just another way to be able to display it. So I'm showing you a couple of different options. You can use all of them. You can use one of them. It's up to you what you want it to look like. One section that I think is very important, and this can be put wherever you want to, is going to be the pricing and stateroom information. This is how you're going to communicate to your clients the pricing, how much it is, etc. I'm also going to include the pricing for double occupancy, triple occupancy, and quadruple. Some people like to, at this point also, then I'm actually going to bullet those ones together. I'm going to create a space. And I'm going to bullet these ones. And I'm just doing it this way. You don't have to do this. Again, I have a certain look I'm going for. And I actually can go ahead and put interior rooms and highlight that. And I can go on this one and go ocean view balcony. And again, it's so nice. I could come here and bold it. I could change the colors of the words if I wanted to. And then I'm going to go ahead and put junior suite here. And again, you're going to see this is just the pricing for it, right? I'm not doing anything spectacular. You could, if you know, it's starting at this, it'll be depending on what they choose to do. And remember that as you're doing this information, you can also add, maybe there's something that you need them to know that on this one. Let's just, for instance, oh, you know what? We need to make sure they know that deposit, oops. Oh my gosh, is $250 per person. So now you've got some information here. Again, you're just giving them information. You could add pictures here, depending on what it is. I have also, at this point, have added pictures of the different balconies, interior rooms, junior suites, just depending on whether I'm presenting it to a group that we already know is going or a group that I'm promoting to, that type of stuff. So keep that piece in mind. And then I always add one last section, which is my travel protection information. I like to do that. I always just do it at the bottom. Nothing, you know, no big deal about about putting it together. I grab a photo and put it on there. And then I just keep the information about it. And on that also, when I do that, again, it's informational. I want this to go up there. That's one thing I got to keep. I keep putting my cursor in there and then not doing it. But you'll notice down here, I also write down a personalized travel protection quote will be sent within 48 hours of booking and deposit payment. I do that as well on groups because generally, unless it's included in the pricing, you won't know what that cost is going to be until after they have booked. And we will go through that later. It's not going to happen right now, but we will go through it later. So let's look at what this landing page looks like now. Okay. So we've got the landing page. We've got our hero section up here where we've added in the information. We have the itinerary they can click into learn more. They're learning a little bit more about the ship and some of the things on it. They have the entertainment, telling a little bit about it. They can get excited about these different places. They're learning about the dining and the neighborhoods they can explore, and then the pricing and stateroom information, and then, of course, the travel protection. Now, again, if you don't like the order these are in, let's just say I really don't want to have, maybe I want to have my entertainment next or after the dining. I just go like this and I can move that section down. And now my dining section has moved up. So I can change those sections around easily. So don't worry if you accidentally mix up where you put them. Find the look that works for you and fits your bill. And remember, these pictures that I've got that have multis on, I did them in Canva. Okay. You can do them wherever you need to be able to make that work. And that is the landing page. Now, are there any questions on anything that I've done? Not above and beyond this, but on what we've worked on right now. Is there any questions that you need answered to have me maybe re-show something on how I did it, or are we good to go? Kat, do we have any questions that we need to talk about?
We have one about should we add per person, or they some don't know if it's per person or cabin. So
You know what? That would be like the deposits per person. I put
yes.
for double occupancy, triple occupancy, quadruple occupancy. So I just stated it out, and you could do it per person, per cabin, however you find the wording that works for you. You just want to make sure it's very clear. Um, and maybe maybe I could say based on double occupancy, but it's just to me for double occupancy, let you know this is how much it's going to cost for 2 people. This is what it's going to cost for 3, and this is what it's going to cost for 4. Okay, so it's just the wording on what makes sense to you and how you want to communicate it to your clients. Does that make sense?
Hello, Kilo.
Hi. So
Are there any general settings for the landing page that you have to
nope,
go through?
nope, there sure is
Okay.
not. Nope, that's why I'm sure. Yep. Okay.
There is one thing I need to say though.
Okay.
We have 2 people that have their AI assist on that need to turn them off.
Oh, I could just remove them. I can
Okay.
remove them.
So
Thank
one's
you.
under the letter M and one's under the letter T.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I always try to watch those, and just because the reason we're not allowing those in here, guys, is if we have people that are coming in and they can't get in because of that, we want to make sure we leave those spaces open for them. Well, okay, what were the numbers, names?
One starts with M
Got that one, I think.
and then T is in Tom.
Oh, the T one must have moved out. Okay, awesome. Thank you for doing that, guys. Okay, so we're going to move on to forms. Now, the form is how you have it so your client can set up and create their own, or not create their own, sorry, that they can sign themselves up, which is what we really want to do is we want to make it as easy for everybody as possible. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put sign me up, or yes, I'm, whatever, sign me up, or yes, or whatever. You can label this button whatever you want to. When you're editing the form, make sure you turn the enable sign up button off, okay? Because you're going to edit the form. And then we're going to get started on what are the things that we need to ask for, okay? And what are the, and again, that is going to be very much based on what kind of cruise is it, or what kind of trip is it? What are the things that you need, etc. We're going to just show you some different ones, and I'm going to give you each form I do. I'm doing the 3 different forms. I'm doing the cruise, the land, and the resort, and each of them are going to have a couple of different questions on them. So just know that I'm not putting everything on every one of them. So I'm going to modify it towards the type of trip it is. Okay. So just kind of keep that in mind. So hopefully that will help you a little bit know how to set it up. But we're going to actually take you through and set it up. I think what happens is a lot of times we don't know how to create these forms. And I want to make sure you understand what each option and each piece in it means, and how to be able to get that look or that feel you want. Okay. So I'm going to click on, go ahead and make sure we're all moving along here. There we go. Okay, so we're going to click on this edit sign up form. And when you bring that, this is going to look like the sign up forms that we're seeing in our other areas, but this is specific for the landing page. Now, no, this form cannot be saved at this time, but that's okay. We're going to get it all figured out. So anyway, I'm going to take the title, and usually what I do for the cruise, for the form title for the cruise, is I usually use the same title that I'm using on the landing page, just to help it for there not to be any confusion and that type of stuff. This form description area for me on, especially on groups, is really important to maybe add a little bit of extra to it to make sure. And of course, I'm gonna have to zoom out just a tiny bit, guys, just so I can see all my buttons. I should be able to, I can be able to get that. So I'm actually going to insert an image in here. And I just do that because I really like to have just something that tells a little bit more about the trip, or to make it, just kind of make it stand out a little bit. And I'll show you what I mean when we go to the preview, okay? And I usually put in just a little bit information. Sometimes it's, just to kind of let people know, whoops, I'm having a lot of, it's because I did page breaks on my copy. I apologize. So I just tell them a little bit, what this is going to be: reserve your stateroom, please complete the form. $500 per double occupancy stateroom is required. And then I can put, I'm actually going to switch that to $250 per person. Per person. Stateroom deposit is required, and we can't wait to help celebrate this. So then the first part we're going to come into is we're going to be what we're going to be gathering for the traveler details. One of the things to keep in mind is they are going to be filling this out for every single person. So you need to remember that, kind of keep that in mind, that if they have 3 or 4 people, they're going to have to keep filling this stuff out over and over again. For now, hopefully eventually we'll have it where it'll autofill it. But right now, this is the way we're looking at. For me, I only need the primary traveler email. I'm not going to do the additional travelers on a landing page or on this situation. I will want their address eventually, but I'm not going to collect it right now because I'm more interested in getting them signed up and ready to go. I can collect some of this stuff, but I do need to know their birthday, and I do need to know the gender. And those are both going to be required things, because when I'm going in to put in the information when they paid, I'm going to need that information. Yes, you're going to need the address, but remember, it's also going to be on the deposit or on the credit card authorization information, so I can gather that information later when I have them update their stuff. So also another thing is I always want to make sure I have their phone, and I usually put it right up here at the top. And you can put in and capture their passport at this time, but I am choosing not to at this particular time. And my purpose, and again, this is where it comes in to be very much your process. I don't do it on the initial sign up unless it's going to be something like a river cruise trip or a land trip where they're probably going to be mostly adults and not going to be a lot of children and littles along. Because and the reason if I put that in here, I'm going to need to have them collect that information for every single person on their itinerary right now. And I would rather just get the stuff that I absolutely need now, and then I can gather that information from them later. Again, that's just a personal. You can do it however you want to, okay? All right, so now we're at a point where we're going to start asking for more information about what we want from them, okay? Keep in mind, everything that has the purple section, all of those things are going to go and be added or updated on their contact information in the CRM. So if it's purple, just know that that's going to happen. You might want to throw loyalty. In fact, I'm going to put loyalty program in here just in case they happen to be a member of Royal Caribbean. Okay, so I just happened to see that. It's like, oh yeah, that is something I do want to make sure I have. So we're going to start with the first thing. Now you have 3 or 4 custom questions here. Let's just kind of go over and understand what each of these are. This multiple options is if you have something that you need information and they can select more than one option, that's the one you use. If you have a question you need to ask them, and it's going to take more than just a line or two, you'd use your long text. Single selected is you need a yes or no answer. They literally can only have one answer. It can be yes, no, I acknowledge, whatever, but they only can select one thing. And then short text is for something that you just need quick information about. So I'm going to start with single select because one of the things that I need to know on this ship, because they're going, as we know on the ship they have different bed configurations. So I'm going to ask that question here because that's pertinent to when I'm signing the map. I'm going to be able to take care of that one piece right now. And depending on what kind of ship it is, I'm going to go ahead on this one. I have, they said that there was a king, that they're King Royals. I don't know. I'm not doing this. Somebody told me that, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that. I would, of course, if I was you, verify that before you do it, or they're going to do 2 twins. So there's one question we're going to ask them. The next question I always like to know is at this point, because this will help me know what type of room to get them, is do they have any accessibility needs? And I like to gather that again right now. Again, they may or may not. And if they do, then let's take care of them. That way we can make sure as we're looking at the cabins for them, we're choosing the right type of cabin so we don't have to later on go back and say, oh, by the way, so-and-so needs to have an accessibility room there, whatever. And so I need that information. But then I'm asking them for the accessibility need. And if they answer yes, how do I know what I need to have? So this is where you can go ahead and put a short text underneath that, because I just need them to give me a little bit of information of what they need if they need that, and what it's going to look like is going to be what accessibility accommodations do you need? Put in if that's not applicable. Okay. The next thing I want to do is I want to catch a little bit of information. I'm pre-booking this out. This trip is going to be it's 2027. I can't even do. I'm not ready to do hotels or transfers and that type of thing at this point because first I can't do flights, and also I don't have a count, so I can't go to the hotel and say I need a group block for XYZ amount of people. But I do want to get that information. I want to gather it as we go. So right now I'm going to use an information block because I need to make I need to put information and ask a lot of questions at this moment. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the information in here, excuse me, that just tells them a little bit about the what's included. I have this, I should have this is from the way I put it in my document. I apologize. So anyway, I've got the information here. And now I've given them all this information, but now I need to know, do they want me to do this? So again, I've got an information block, but now I'm going to do a single select because I have to ask them a question and I need a yes or no answer. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ask them the question. And this may vary. This is going to vary on you and what you like. So maybe I want to ask them, do you want me to do the hotels and flights? And then I'm going to have them choose one. I am going to give them 4 options. Maybe you only have 2 options. Maybe you have 5 options. But I'm going to go ahead and give them 4 options of what they can choose, but they can only choose one. Okay. And I'm going to add another option while I'm here. I'm going to add both of them. So you can see I can add options to it. And again, remember, I am copying and pasting these. I've already had them on a form in my documents. And yes, if people would like me to share this, my assets page, I will be happy to turn them into a PDF and share them with you at some point. So you don't have to try to go in and do that. So anyway, I have now answered this question. So I put up the information here. I now have asked a question about the information that's just above it. And I'm going to go ahead and continue now out and down. Another thing that I like to do, and again, you may or you may not do this, it's totally up to you, is I like to get the acknowledgement of a deposit policy. Okay, it means that they understand, and I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger because I can. And all I'm doing is I'm making a title that says acknowledgement of policy. And the reason I'm making it in an info block is I want it to be just a little bit bigger so they can't really miss it. And I'm going to go in again and ask a single question. So I'm pulling that in below. And that single question I'm asking I'm asking them to acknowledge. And that says, I acknowledge that my place is not confirmed until the deposit has been successfully received. So if they go in and fill out the form and then they don't pay for the deposit, they're not going to be they're saying, oh, I didn't pay for that. I'm not going to have that. That's not been done. So and you'll notice I just deleted one of the options because I literally have a single option that I'm going to require them to answer. And that is going to be, yes, I understand and agree. That's all it is. I'm not going to make them do anything else. That's all they have to do. And I do have another thing that I like to do for my clients. And at this point, it's better to get it up front and ahead of time. So it's easier to set things up on the back end. Because I'm a big believer in it going in and be able to do things one time if possible. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to add another info block because this time I want to ask them about what their preferences are once the deposit has been made. Okay, so once the deposit is made, they want to have it in equal installments, flexible payments, or one final payment. How do they want me to set up their back end of their account? And again, we're going to be in another single select. So I gave them the information here. Now I'm going to ask them to please select the option that works best for them. Okay, so the option that works best for them, I am giving them 3 options, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go ahead here and just put equal installments. I'm going to copy and paste again because I'm being lazy. Oops, it's not really being lazy and being efficient. That's what I'm doing. And oops, you know what? I'm just going to actually copy it off from down here so I don't get my weird font that I was having. So I'm going to click there. This one, I want to do partial payments. I'm just going to copy and paste it from there to here. And I'm going to do this one final payment. Okay. And one more thing that I want to do is, remember I mentioned the travel protection on the page here. So I also want to make sure I have that information here. It's kind of almost like a pre-sign off, but it's not really, it's just letting them understand they are going to get information about the travel protection. And you may do this differently. Again, for me, I send them the information within 48 hours. Again, it's going to be something that you guys can decide how you want to do it. It's your business, your way. I've given them the information here. Again, I need a single select because I need them to understand this. I need to know that they've read that and they understood it. So I put in a little, another I acknowledge statement that says, I acknowledge I've read the below or above, and then I'm going to put in, yes, I understand and agree. And then I'm going to delete this one because I don't need it. You will notice sometimes you have to do twice to get rid of it, and sometimes you don't. The terms and conditions are automatically on here, but personally, I like to add my e-signature in here. And just above the e-signature, I like to add one more block, one more information block, and that is going to be about the the booking instructions. So what I do is I have a statement that I put that's pretty, and now again, with the editor, I can go in and really make sure to highlight and emphasize a few spots on here to make sure that they go through and they listen to, or they see that. So this is my form. Let's look and see what it looks like. So you can click on preview and I can come through. This is where I actually recommend you check for typos. You make sure you have it in the order that you want, that it's flowing the way you want to. And I just go through, and of course we have the traveler information, then they'll add their loyalty program if they have it, and then additional travelers. And then this is where it's just one person. So we've got so once this traveler section is filled out, the section below is going to just be, it's only for one person. They're not doing that for every single traveler. Whoops. So look at here. I have an issue. I have an option 3 on here that I need to get rid of. So that just told me I need to go back to my piece here under the bed configuration, and I need to get rid of option 3. So that was one thing. And I'm going to go ahead and update it. That's gone. Do I have accessibility needs? Yep, I've got all that information. Everything looks right. The pre-cruise information. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and make this just a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go back to here. Again, I can come in here and say, what do I want it to look like? I want it just a little bit bigger so that really is going to pop on that. Maybe you change font color, whatever you want to. So it's just a little bit bigger, so it really divides it up a little bit more. Again, they're going to go through, they're going to acknowledge these things. And look at this, I have another one. Nope, that's right, it's right, it looks right, okay. And then I've got the acknowledgements here, that's here, everything looks here, and it's set. So that is now ready to go. All right, so that is the actual form for the landing page. Once you get the form set up and you get the landing page on, you can turn them on. If you want to add a call of action, you can do that. A call of action on a landing page that you have a sign up form on. A good thing to put here possibly would be an email. So you can have them contact you with any questions that they may need to before. You also do not have to enable this in action. You don't have to have this. I like to always have my email on there, and you'll notice on the mail too. Let's see if I can zoom in on that really well. I'm going to zoom on this button because I want you guys to see how to put it in there. You'll notice it's mail to the 2 dots, my email, no spaces. That way it's a clickable link. Oops. And it will go right, right into their program. And so that's enabled. So let's look what that landing page looks like now that I've got everything enabled and turned on. And I'm going to hit on preview. And you can see I have all the information I need here. I've got the sign me up, the contact information. When I click on sign me up, it's got the form here. And then when I click next, and and I'm going to stop for 1 second here. I want to explain to you the form, this is the sign up form. When a client is signing up the form, there are actually 3 parts to this, but it's all back behind the scenes and you don't really know it. But I want to let you know where they're related to on the itineraries and the forms and stuff like that, so that if you find a problem, you know where to search for it. So on a form, the first part is that information we just filled out, that sign up form we just filled out. When you hit next, this takes you into the actual itinerary. So you're going to have, this is where you're going to have your room selections, where you have add-ons, where you have, the options that the clients need to figure out to choose. And that sometimes can be 1 or 2 pages. What's that? They get all those options. That last page is the authorization page. And this information comes from inside the booking part of the itinerary. That's where this information is. So if you're missing stuff here, that's where the mistake is at, and that's where you fix it at. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop. Are there questions about creating the landing? I guess we did the landing page. Are there any questions on creating the form? Do you understand on the forms all the different functionalities of what the sidebars here, etc.? Is there any questions for that?
Hey, Chloe, Deanne Hittinger, could you say that one more time where you said if you have any issues, especially like with your terms and conditions or something, where you go to correct that?
Well, you mean with on the authorization where the pricing is? The pricing would be under bookings. That means you probably need to go in here and say where I'm probably missing. You're probably missing something like either you don't have your date in, or you don't have your booking supplier in, or maybe you forgot the terms and conditions. So that it's not showing up on in the payment area. So this is where you would come to be able to fix that. Okay, you bet. Okay. Anybody else? If not, we're going to publish it and we're going to move on to our, excuse me, we're going to move on to the land one. Okay. All right, let's go out to that. Now I'm going to come back and do all of the we're going to test all the trips all at the same time at the end so that you can see it kind of happening one after another. So, because sometimes that just helps a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do my Irish adventure here. Oops, I actually have two on here. I want to delete one of them. Just a second. Ignore this. Okay. All right. So I've already gone through and I created an itinerary. Now you guys did not see me create this one. So I am going to go ahead and just jump in on it just for a second. There is, I've just added in the hotels, any of the information that are the places and the things that we might be doing on this trip, the start and the finish. There is, I have a solo occupancy. What I did for here is, excuse me, I just want to show you how I did not, let me stop that over. Okay, because it's a land tour, there are many different hotels throughout, in different places. And I didn't want to have to set up every single hotel separately. So for this type of page thing, I still created a hotel occupancy, but it's just the choice. So I now know, are they going to be a solo traveler or are they double travel? Okay. I don't even think I have, I don't even have, I have a double. I have the room choices as double occupancy, and I have the solo occupancy. And then in the pricing, I just set it up. This is what it is for the double occupancy. This is what it is for solo pricing, and everything else is set up the same way. And you will notice up here that I said travel protection is included in this pricing. That's going to be important later, but I wanted to just point that out so that you can see that. Okay. So that I just wanted to point that out. That's how I did that. We can go back over that later if that's something you want to see. That's a good thing to write down for questions and answers. So we can go through that again later. But we are going to work on the landing page. And I need to get to the right information that I have on that one. Like I said, I created forms I created them and then I copied everything off of them so I could recreate them. So I've got to get my little cheat sheet up, for lack of a better way to call it. So, okay. So this is our Irish adventure. We're going to go ahead and we're going to name the page title of this one, To Discover Ireland's Magic, an 8-day guided experience. Okay. So remember, this is our hero section. That has not changed. Okay. There's also going to be the overview. Some of the things, maybe a couple of the highlights, some of the things that you want to make sure you let your clients know about. Those are the things that you will put here. And then let's go ahead and let's choose our photos. Now, don't forget, you can use royalty free. You can also add images. Maybe you've been on this trip and you want to make sure you're using your own photos to really highlight some of the things that you loved, or maybe you use Unsplash or whatever. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to choose the different photos that we're having. And I always just say, you can put as many on there as you want to. Depending on the place and where you're going, probably is going to depend on how many images, but I recommend at least 3, just kind of for the layout and for the eye of it. So, and again, just kind of what you like. I'm actually adding quite a few to this one. And the reason is because it's a pretty good tour, a pretty long tour. And I want to kind of highlight some of the different things, because maybe somebody's going to say, well, I wonder if we're going to do this, or I wonder if we're going to see this, or, those types of things, or maybe they've seen pictures or something that really excites them. And there may be a picture that excites them about this particular trip. So I'm just adding, and of course, these are just, again, very quickly pulled off of the stuff I had. So, okay, here we go. So we have some information here. So again, remember, hero area. This is our hero area. This is where you get your page title in. This is where you have this, and these features are going to be across the top. Again, let me show those to you so you can get an idea of what it looks like. It also shows there's extra pictures so the clients can look at more if they want to. Again, looks really good, ready to go. Now it's time to choose what are the things that we want to include on this. And remember, these are the things I decide to do. You may decide to do something completely different. You may want to add something different, or you may say, oh, I love that idea. So I'm a big person of take what you want. We used to call it, I was a scrapbooker. We called it scrap lifting. So we're going to call it itinerary lifting. If you need an itinerary lift the heck out of this, okay? So anyway, we're going to go ahead and our landing page exists. So this first section that I want to do is I'm really excited the trip, but maybe the clients really want to go, where are we going? When I'm doing a land tour, one of my favorite things, or a river cruise, one of my favorite things to do is to include a map. And the reason I like that so much is because it just right off the bat is showing the client, look where you're going and look at all the places that you're going to be at and that type of thing. So it's really, really fun to do. Generally, wherever you're doing the group through, if it's done through a company, generally you're going to have that map or something like that lines. So I love to add that. It's a personal favorite. Next thing I like to do, because it's a group tour, I'm promoting this, is to let people, you know what, here's what's included, especially on these tours. Sometimes they don't quite know. I mean, when you're on a ship, you know you're going to get fed. When you go to all-inclusive resort, you know you're going to get fed. But sometimes when you're on a tour, you don't always know what is exactly going to be included in this. So it's a really good thing to add that information in. Maybe what are they going to do for breakfast and lunch and dinner, and also what is not included. That's another thing that's important, to tell them what maybe is not included, so that they can prepare for those items. And I don't know what I just did there, so we're going to go back, and I'm going to take the bullet list off. Oh, I see what I did. We're going to unbullet that. Come on, unbullet. Let's go back to a paragraph. Chloe. Okay, let's go see. How many steps do I need to go back to make that all better? There we go. Isn't that nice? I love that. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and do this correct. So there we go. I want to bullet that. So I needed to separate. It's not going to do it. Okay, heck with that. We're not bulleted it. I will figure that out. That looks like I may have a little bit of a, what do they call those? Bug. So I will go check that out and we'll figure it out. And it's on video, so it'll be easier to tell the guys where to go look, right? So anyway, I have what's included. The next thing I like to do is I always like to make sure on these trips, again, depending on the order you want to put things, I am going to put down that I'm going to put the pricing at this point. It includes travel protection, but the flights are not included. I'm going to let them know what the deposit is. I'm going to let them know that it's per person based on double occupancy, the solo traveler. And I'm also, because it's a little bit of a special on this particular one, I want to make sure I highlighted that it's made solo travel available. So, but because the available is limited, I want to also make sure I highlight that to make sure they don't know that. So I'm just going to change that a little bit. Okay. The next thing is, of course, because I'm promoting this, I want clients to know where they're going to be staying. So some of the things people don't know what to do on these groups is, what do I put on them on these land groups? One of the things I personally like to include is the accommodations. Where are we going to be staying? That type of thing. And so some people, it's like, okay, I know exactly where I'm staying. I know these places or whatever. Other ones may not know them. So I'm going to go ahead and add the image and the hotels. We're going to be staying at 6 different hotels while we're in this place. And I want to also go ahead and highlight where we're going to be staying. This is kind of nice because then they can look and say, oh, they can look at these places we're staying. I tell where it's going to be at, kind of just a little bit about it. A lot of times this information is probably going to be on the information you got from the group, where whoever's doing your group, whether it's a DMC or whatever. I also like to add kind of in between all this, to kind of break it up, is why they should join it. Because remember, this is something I'm promoting. So I want them to know, I want them to look at it and say, well, why should I join you on this one? What is it that's fun about this? Again, I use a lot of ChatGPT to put this information together. I'll put in, these are the things I want to do, include this, this, and this, and then I let it write it to make it sound nice, because I don't always communicate it the way I want to on paper. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead. Another thing I like to do is just add some highlights. Of course, they're going on this trip. believe me, they're going to be looking down this page. They're going to want to see what's available. So maybe they're going to be stopping at a lot of different places. They want to see a lot of different things. I am going to also add another photo here to this of the trip highlights. Again, these photos that I'm using are ones that I have done in Canva. What I generally do is figure out how many photos that I have that I want to use for this. For instance, this one, I kind of wanted to highlight a little bit about each of the different places they were going. I wanted to include a lot of different things, and came down to there was 16 pictures I wanted to use, and I used them all. But it looks good because I was able to put them in Canva and find something that laid out 16 pictures to look good and not look funky. I could have done some different things if I would wanted to, but that was just really the look I wanted. And I just realized I did not go all the way down. So I got to grab one more and put this in here. There we go. And now I'm at the last section. And does anybody remember what do I put in my last section? Travel protection. But I'm going to stop because remember, travel protection is already included on this one. Okay. So I'm actually going to delete that. It's like, oh, whoops, I don't need that here. I've already included it. And on my itinerary, I also have the information about it. And I'll have the policy information there. So I don't need to include it twice or 3 times or whatever. So that's how that piece is done. Let's look and see what this page looks like. Okay, so now we have here, again, the hero section. I mean, if that doesn't capture what Ireland's all about, I don't know what does, from the north to the south to the, whatever. And so we have, again, we're telling them why to come with us, different things they're going to experience. Here's the information about the trip a little bit more. There's the map tour right there, or the map of the tour. So people can say, oh my gosh, we are literally going to go all the way around Ireland. Okay. Then we're showing them what's included. And we also just put in what's not included in there too. The pricing and the details, the accommodations. I mean, I would be looking at the goals. I'm going, oh, I can hardly wait till we get to this hotel. It would be really fun. And it's kind of nice because it gives them an idea that some of these are going to be downtown. Some of them are going to be more traditional. Some are going to look a little bit more like they're right in the middle of the country, whatever. It's kind of exciting and fun and makes them look forward to that. Again, why are they joining the tour? Some trip highlights to really get them excited and really make them want to push on that button to say, sign me up. Okay. Are there any questions on what I've done so far on this landing page that you need me to show you again? Nope. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go on to creating the form for this one. Again, we're going to do some of the things you'll see will be the same. Some will be a little bit different. I pulled up the wrong form. We don't want to use that one. Let's pull up the correct, there we go, the right asset here. Okay. And just a second here. I've got one little thing I gotta grab. There we go. I just had grabbed the wrong thing for a second here, and I want to just fix it. Okay, so we're going to go to the self-startup. Today, I'm going to say book your spot instead of reserve your spot. I want them to book their spot today. I'm going to leave reserve your spot today. I want them to do that, but I'm going to add a little exclamation point because it's like, this is exciting stuff. You don't want to miss out. We're going to click on edit sign up. And we're going to do the same thing as we did before. We're going to create the pieces that we need. For this one, I'm going to use, again, this is my personal preference. I do like to use the same title that I have on my landing page. Part of the reason of that is just so that it keeps everything. Anybody that's been in my naming, what I've showed how I've named things, probably realize that I have to keep things the same across the board. So it helps me a little bit more. The first thing I want to do, of course, is I want to add a little header. Again, these are things you do not have to do. They are things that I have chosen to do because I think it adds a little bit to it. It makes it look, it adds a little excitement to it. And so that is what I do recommend you do, okay? So I'm going to add in the information here. I'm going to put one space there. This one is a space limited one, so it lets them know. I think I'm going to actually highlight that so that we can make sure that they do not miss that piece. Spaces are limited so that they can make sure they're going to fill it completely out. Now, oh no. Sorry, I have something that I don't know what I did here. I just want to make sure I put this in the right spot. I have something in the wrong spot, so I want to get that off of there. Sorry. Okay, so on this one, we're again the same detail, same information. You can add the address or not. I tend to on this type of one, because this is the type of thing that generally tends to be two friends go on it or a husband wife. It's usually adults only. This one I do grab their address right off the bat. Because they're only probably going to fill it out for them and one other person. I'm not worried about them adding 3 or 4 or 5 people to it. I also want to make sure I have their birthday. I also want to make sure I have their gender and their phone. Now, I am going to also on this one would require their passport. I'm not putting, well, I'm not going to put the passport on this one. One reason, okay, I will come back after the class and do it. But when we go to test it, I don't want to have to put in information for a passport. So pure laziness on my part that I don't want to do that, okay? So you know what? It's 2 people. I'll figure it out. Let's do it the right way, okay? Sorry. I'm not gonna have to put in. I'm not gonna put in loyalty programs. I could put in I could put in travel preferences, but because I'm not going to be getting flight information now, I'm not even going to worry about that right now. That's going to happen on one when I have them update their information to make sure we're all current. Okay. So I've got the information from the purple, from the purple section where the contact information of the stuff that's going to go into the contacts to the CRM. Okay. Now we're going to go down and we're going to say, what are the things that we need for this trip? Well, one of the first things I want to know is, do they want me to do their flights or not? And this is going to be a single select. And the reason I want to know if they're going to do their flights or not is that's going to help me know to start watching for that, to make sure I get them on my list, depending on when it's going to be traveling, when they're traveling, that type of thing, because I may not even be able to have that available right now, depending on how far out it is. Okay. And I usually, with me, depending on the type of trip it is, if I'm booking the flights, I do have a charge. This particular one I don't, because it's the type of land cruise it is. I don't usually do that, but if it's like another type, I might charge, and I would put that information here too. But this one says that I'll book my own airfares. We understand that we're completely responsible, and if they don't make it, the tour, then that's on them. Okay. So I'm telling them that, yep, we're going to go ahead and do it. They're booking that. The next thing I like to do on this one, because remember I showed them the map, they're doing the entire outside part of Ireland, right? Well, maybe I want to try to get them in on a pre or post cruise. And the reason on that is because maybe they want to see the center. Okay. And this is what I'm going to use the multiple options on. Okay. And oops, I apologize. I want to do the info block first. And I'm going to call that the pre or post tour add-on option. And in here, you may want to expand on, if you're wanting to see the interior or that type of stuff. I literally just thought of that right now, so I haven't done that, but I probably will go back and say, hey, you're going to see the outer parts of Ireland. How would you like to make sure you get a chance to see the interior part? Or maybe you want to go ahead and go on over to Scotland or over to the UK, or you're so close, do you want to go to these places? So I'm going to go ahead and put that information on here. Let's see. And I did have a little bit of information here, but not as much as I want to. I don't want that one. Yikes. paragraph. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and add a little bit of information here, and I can customize this. And I do write down here a small planning fee applies. Okay, because if I'm doing pre and post, that's a little bit different, more, and it's more work, and it's, you know, that type of thing. So that's something I personally do. You do not have to do it, but that is something that you can let them know ahead of time so that they're aware of it. Okay, and then the question is, or what you want to ask them is yes, or do you want and the answer could be yes. Let's see, here we go. Yes, please contact me about a pre-tour adventure. Yes, please contact me about a post-tour one. Then I'm going to add an option that says no, we're just going to go ahead and do the one we're scheduled to do. That's it. But this time I did multiple options, which allows them to select both before and after if they want to. Okay, so that way it gives them an opportunity for two. So now you know the difference between a multiple option and a second option, or single option. Okay. The next thing I need to know is, do they want me to do their flights? Okay, if they want me to do their flights, I think I asked them that up here. I have one more thing that I forgot to add to this, and I apologize. I need to also go ahead and put in a short text below. If yes, which airport will you fly? You know, what is that called? Which airport? And then that way they can put that information. And I put required on that, and they can just put not applicable if they need to. All right. The next thing that I like to do, again, so this is pretty much everything that I want here, but because this tends to also be one where clients have a tendency to, maybe two women go together, two friends go together or something like that, that are wanting to just split the cost. That tends to happen in this area. So I like to put in single select here again. Will you have I mean, if you are, in this one I didn't write it down, I apologize. Are you traveling with a roommate? Will you have a roommate? There we go. And yes or no. And in this one, I can also say, will you have a roommate? And do you want to split the costs? Okay. So this is where you're going to ask that. Again, you can do this on the cruises, you can do this on things, but I'm just showing it to you in this one place. So yes, I have a roommate. I'm going to add an option here that says yes, I have a roommate. Please split the cost. And then here, no roommate, or no. You guys, I apologize. I can't find where I had written it down. Oh my gosh. I just needed to scroll down a little bit further. I got this backwards. So I'm going to actually delete this section just because I've got to copy and paste. So I'm just going to delete it. No big deal. I was going, I know I wrote this all out. Where did I put it? So this is I'm going to do the, start over with that part. Sorry, I've got my finger in my eye. And so again, I'm going to do single select. And will you have a roommate? So again, I'm just putting that information in, and it's going to just be a simple yes or no right now. Well, maybe not so simple. So yes and no. And then I'm going to put in short text underneath that. because I just want to know what the roommate's name is. Okay, and that's probably going to be, the traveler's going to be on there anyway. This is just a verification piece for me, just to make sure, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do another single select. Again, I'm gathering information that's going to make it easier once I get their order. Is would you like to make would you like to make a separate payment once the deposit has been taken care of? You'll notice that I put once the deposit has been taken care of. I'm going to make them deal with the deposit on their end. Okay. Just because it's easier. And you may decide to do it differently. This is how I choose to do it. Okay. So again, remember, your business, your way. If you don't want to do it that way, you can do it a little bit different. Whoops. I'm going to add in here another single select that says, once the deposit is paid, should I apply it to one person or split between the occupants? Or split deposit. I just realized that should say deposit between occupants. And I'm going to put in one person. Oops. And the other one's going to be split. And I'm going to add one more little piece here that says short text. Okay. So short text, because I want one more piece of information from him. And that's going to be, if one person is paying, please provide their paying the deposit, or if one person is paying deposit, please provide their name here. If split, put non-applicable. Again, the reason I do that is because I want to ensure that I can apply it afterwards. Now, if you want to, you can also go in and you can put in the information about, you know, how earlier you can do equal payments and that type of stuff. I'm not going to do that right now for time constraints, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just say this is done, but I want to make sure I do one more thing. I always put an e-signature on here. I also like to put that info block that has the make sure that you know, here's your booking instructions, so you follow through and do everything like that on it. I always like to add that on here. And that way it's just every time. Since I started adding this to the bottom of my forms, I rarely get an unfinished one. Okay. So let's go take a look and see what that looks like. Preview. Again, here we go. Tell them that space is limited. Here's the information that I'm gathering from the clients. You know, flights, where to fly out of, do they want to do this? Will they have a roommate? If they're going to, how are they going to take care of it? And also the instructions to do that. So that is done for that one. So are there any questions on that form?
Hey, Chloe, real quick.
Yes.
Wait, it's Jessica. I have a quick question. So,
Okay.
could you put like an info button to say, don't forget if you have additional travelers, you can add it up at the top underneath a person instead of asking the questions at the end? So, like,
You could put it up wherever. I mean, you could put it right directly under the traveler if you wanted to. You could absolutely. These can be moved anywhere you want them.
but no, what I'm saying is like, because there is a space on here, right? I think when you did the preview where you can add additional travelers.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I can't do it right here. I mean, yeah, you can add additional plot traveler here,
Right there. Okay.
but and so that's like I said, I'm just doing it to verify the roommate name, because just in case they don't do this part, I have that to say, hey, I don't have the information on, you know, Heather. She's not, you know, she's not in here, and so it helps me be able to make sure I have all the information. If I'm understanding what you're asking.
Yeah, I know. I didn't see, I wanted to make sure there was still that add additional.
Yes, this is still here. Yes. That does, yeah, that piece does not change. It's just more kind of informational gathering for myself. And again, you don't have to include it. You can look at it. That's the beautiful part about previewing is it's like, is this redundant? Or do I really need to have this information here? And as you do more and more of them, you'll find out the pieces that you really don't need anymore. or the quick pieces you're always having to go back to them for information on. So you'll figure those pieces out. So don't ever think that this is a one and done. Things will evolve. The more you do them, the more that they'll evolve to make it feel more like your process. Okay. It's kind of nice. This is a jumping off spot if you didn't have a jumping off spot, and now we'll go forward, the ability to go forward. Okay. All right. So if there's no questions there, we're going to move on to the last type of trip. And I forgot to tell you, so this landing one, so remember the first one, the cruise was one that somebody came to you, they kind of knew what they want, and they have a group that, maybe it's a group, a pickleball group, and they know who's going to go into it. So they don't need as much information. You kind of got that all put to place. This one right here was more of like a promotional group. Maybe you want to go on the trip. It's like I might as well create a group around it so I can maybe help pay for the trip. Maybe that's what this is, a promotional trip. This last one we're going to do is going to be more of a like a family reunion, okay? And a family reunion is good, or something where it's like that, or maybe it's just like a bachelorette party or something like that. And for those type of things, you're probably not going to have to do quite as much on your landing pages because everybody else is, everybody's going to have FOMO. They're not going to want to miss out on the trip that everybody, all their friends are going on. So they're not going to be as into looking what everything is that you're doing on. It's just like, I want to be there. So it's kind of nice because you can kind of lighten it up a little bit as far as how much information you put on it. But again, we're going to still have the same thing. But because this is a personal group, and you might look at it a little bit differently. So like this is, it's the King family. So I got a creative title there. And then for the overview, again, I'm working on the hero section. So maybe for the overview, it's like, okay, you know what? Here's some shared history. It's the family reunion. We're going to have some fun. But this time I'm going to use images from past family reunions. Maybe I'm going to go back to when grandma and grandpa, and maybe I wasn't even born yet, I'm going to go, if you can get from your client that's kind of in charge, this is a really fun thing to do, is to find images that are kind of from their family. And you can create those create those little pieces of different family reunions around the time, and maybe they've done different things. And it's kind of fun to see who's been, who went to all of them, who's been to different ones throughout the years, that type of thing, and to see how everybody's growing. I know that makes it a lot more fun. Maybe you're doing a birthday party. Maybe you're doing a bachelorette party, and you have the bachelorette, or the bachelorette is, or the bachelors. Maybe you have some fun pictures of the people that have been friends throughout the years. So those are some things that you can add to, because this is kind of a personal page. So I recommend doing something fun like that. So then when they click on the landing page, now they're looking, saying, oh my gosh, we were here. Okay, remember how much fun we had here? Yeah, we have to go on this family reunion. So it's kind of a way to help promote how much fun they had and to kind of start sparking some memories. So it's kind of a marketing ploy, but it's also a lot of fun to do. Okay, so because of course we know the more people that go, the more money you're going to make, right? So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start adding some different titles and different things of where we're going. So I'm going to, excuse me, I'm going to put the title in. So I'm just, because again, it's a family, whoops, don't need to do that. Because it's a family reunion, I am not going to have to put as much information in. I, of course, need to put where they're going to be staying, maybe a few things that is available for them. Again, this is going to be, I don't want to miss out on this type thing. So I'm going to put that information in, a little bit about it. Again, you want to do the pricing and information. And it may look a little bit different depending on, because it's a family reunion, you're probably going to have different types of rooms and that type of thing. Remember, you guys, okay, so I have to tell you, I've never done a group like this at a resort. So if things look distorted, I'm going to own it and say it's because I had no idea what I was doing, because I've never done one. So I just wanted to let you guys know ahead of time that if you see something, or maybe because I'm so stupid and I haven't done one like this before, I'll do something that is so great, you'll think, oh man, I wished I'd have thought of that before. but it's not likely, but we can pretend, right? I'm all about pretending there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put in again the pricing and stateroom information. And I'm going to add literally one more section, and that's going to be the travel information. Again, I don't need a lot of information on this. It's a family reunion or it's a bachelorette group. They're going to be talking amongst themselves, and they are the ones that are going to be promoting it and making it fun. But the big piece that you can make it so it's a little bit more marketing, a little bit to make it a little more fun, is going to be all in this, what I call the hero section again. Maybe make something fun here that's kind of fun. Add some fun pictures that's of the family, that type of thing. And that's literally all I would be doing for this page. Okay. So I've got the family reunion stuff. Tell them about this. Tell them the itinerary, where we're going to stay, what the pricing information is. Okay. They're going to have been talking. They're going to be on their groups. They're going to be saying, hey, this is where we're going. This is what's going on. And it will be all set up and ready to go. So it's, like I said, I can kind of make that lighter. You can most certainly add more stuff if you want to, but I chose to just make this kind of a light one for this particular one. Now it's going to go ahead and we're going to go right into the form. Okay. So I'm ready to make more family memories. Sign me up. Okay, so now I'm going to edit the sign up form, and we're going to go again. I'm doing what I always do. I'm taking from the form, the landing page title. Whoops, the landing page title. Chloe, sorry, my computer just froze up on me a little bit. Just give me a second here. There we go. Could not update this form. I'm going to go ahead and back off of it and go back in. I think it's because I accidentally hit a button that I wasn't supposed to. So let's just put sorry, I'm just I've got the spinning wheel of death happening. Just a second, guys. Let's see if it will let me do it this way. I know it can't do it there. Let's see if I can force it on this side. Just a second. It's just because I have the wheel of death happening. So thank you for your patience while I see if I can get this fixed. There, maybe that will work. Let's see. There we go. Yep, I just need to fix something. Sorry about that. I'm going to also put in a insert the image here for the form. I like to just put on a header. You do not, again, you don't have to do these. These are just things I do because I like it. This was the last time they met, so it's kind of fun to put that in. And then we're going to go join us for this family and make unforgettable time. And see you in Cabo. Again, basic details of what do you want here, because it's going to be families. I basically want gender. I want birthday. And that's it. Oh, and I need a phone. Okay, that's it. That's what I want. I'm not even going to require the phone on everybody. I just realized I haven't switched that off on other ones, but I am going to require the birth date. I'm going to require the gender, and that's all I'm going to catch right now, because once I get this done, because it's family, there's going to be kids, I don't want to do all the passport stuff. Okay. Now I am going to go again. I'm going to ask about accessibility needs, because you are doing multi-generational. It's probably going to be important to make sure you gather that information, because when when you have multi-generational, you tend to have several people that might need a little bit of extra help, or want to make sure they're, make sure they're closer to a certain place or that type of stuff. You just want to make sure you're taking care of those clients just because of that. And then, again, what is their accessibility information? What do they need to make sure that they're taken care of? We'll do that in a short text box, because I just need them to type that out. And what's another thing would be, so this is one they can, A lot of times you have family will say, you know what, we've been gathering air miles, we're going to book everything by ourselves, but I am going to go ahead and ask them if they want to have me book their air. So I'm going to go ahead and add the info block here so I can add in their information. And I'm going to ask them, do you want me to add on the transfers, an option of transfers and that type of stuff. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. And tell them this, I'm not going to be able to resolve any other issues if there's a problem here, that type of thing. And this is also including the transfers to and from the resort. And if they want me to do that one, I'm going to have to also ask them single select. So again, single select, because I need one answer. And it's going to be, would you like us to do your flights and transfers? Excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and tell them, yes, do that. Or nope, but I also understand that they're not going to hold me responsible if they don't get where they're supposed to on time. Okay, so that's taken care of. I am going to go ahead and do another acknowledgement block. I didn't do this on the last one, the deposit, but I wanted to do it again here just to kind of remind you guys about it and the importance of making sure you've got their, that they've acknowledged that, especially like on something like this, you have a tendency to have, I don't know about you guys, but there's always seems to be flakes in every family. I know I have them in mine and I love them very much, but I'm also not delusional enough to think that I'm not going to have somebody who, well, so-and-so had that. It's like, yeah, but I'm going to make you acknowledge it here. So we love them, but we also have no delusions about them, correct? So that's what we're going to do is make sure we have that piece in place. And again, just make sure you understand that you're making sure that you put in the information that you want to have to make sure it's good. You can add the deposit information like I did in the first one, where you're asking for equal, flexible, partial payments. You can do that here as well. You could also do the I'm going to do the travel information here because it's not included on here, the travel information blocks. Again, it's very important that you make sure, this is such a big piece that I go through and I do it several times. So I've got the information just above it. Again, single block. I just need them to acknowledge that they have read it and that they understand that I'm going to be sending them that information and that they are responsible for making sure that it's all taken care of. And then I'm going to put, yes, I understand. Whoops. And agree. And then I don't need the second option. So I'm going to delete that, get rid of it. And then of course, I'm going to add in the booking instructions. Again, I do that at the bottom of every single one of my forms because it's really alleviates the non-finished forms. So that's just something that I've really started to do to make sure that I am doing everything I can to make it as proofed as possible. I was almost said a naughty word, but okay. So then we go and put in the final piece there. We can preview it again, go through and make sure it has all the information on it that you want, and it is done. So we have literally just built 3 different landing pages. One is like a family reunion or bachelorette, that type of thing, doesn't need quite as much information. We've done a cruise, and that one happened to be one that is a group going that, maybe they know maybe it's an affinity type group. And then we did one that's totally a promotional one that we're trying to sell out the pieces. And so you can see each of those had different information. You can add or do anything that you want within that piece to be able to make it be how you want to. You've seen all the different things I'm adding to different forms. You could add all those things to forms. You could add none of those things to forms. It's totally up to you. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you now. I've got these all set up, and there's an important piece before you ever send out these to any clients, okay? First, of course, is once you get to the landing page, you're going to need to make sure you've enabled the pieces. If you want the call to action, you need to make sure it's enabled. So you're going to enable it, and then you need to go and you need to test it. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to literally test every single one of these. So we're going to publish it because I want you to see, not only are we testing it, this allows us to see what our client is experiencing. so that you can take care of any pain points. So if somebody says, well, I get to this point and I didn't know what to do, you know, because you've already done it. So we're going to go ahead, and when you do that, you're copying off the link, and you need to make sure you open a private or incognito window. Do you guys see that incognito window? It looks like it came up. Yes, it did. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put on here. So this is the family reunion. And I'm going to go ahead and it's like, okay, we're doing this. We're going to sign up here. And I'm going to go ahead and put in my little family of 4. Okay. And let's see. Sorry, gotta stop and think for just a second what email I used. And I'm going to put in, he just literally had a birthday yesterday. And he was born in 86. Can't believe I remembered that. And he's male, and I'm going to add another traveler. So now we're going to do the next one. And because I am requiring that I have a phone number or a birthday, and of course I want to know the gender. Those are things that, did I just make, oh, I did that right. So I'm going to add another one here because I put the whole family in this time. Did I just put her name right down? Oh, you guys, this is hilarious. She would laugh. That was, I gotta see if I put, okay, I did. I put my daughter's, forgot to put her married name. Sorry. And let's put her down. Sorry. That was just kind of funny. And she was born in 2013. She's a little female. And this last one, this little sweetie's birthday is tomorrow. She called me this morning or last night and told me, my birthday, I'm going to go to bed tonight. And then I have all day to play tomorrow with my friends. And then the next day when I wake up, it's my birthday. So I got to hear all about it last night. So it's kind of fun to hear her talking about her birthday. She's 7, so she was born in 2018. Okay. And so now I've got all 4 of my travelers on here. Do I have any accessibility? Not this time. And I'm just going to put NA because I don't need that. We are going to have, I am going to book this. Oops. Yep, we're going to go ahead and book the flights for them. And we're going to acknowledge that the deposit's it's not confirmed till I paid that. I understand the travel and protection, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go through here and sign this. I'm going to agree to that signature. I'm going to agree to the terms, my terms and conditions, and hit submit. When I do that, it's going to, of course, going to give me my little gotta go grab my email. Where's it at? Where'd my email go? Sorry. Things have disappeared on my page. Where are they? Where in the heck? Oh, there it is. Geez Louise. You guys' pictures are covering it. That's why I couldn't find it. So, alrighty. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. And I'm going to go ahead and click that. It's verifying. And we are going to go there. The kids are between 3 and 10. We're going to go ahead and grab that one. That was just the way I set it up. So we have that. Could decide, oh, we're going to do horseback riding. No, you know what? Let's not do that. I'm not going to make any decisions about this right now. So I'm just going to submit the selections. And I'm here. There's my deposit. I've got one of these already in place. I'm going to go ahead and authorize it. And I'm going to put Scott. Test and agree. Okay. So now I'm going to submit that authorization. That person, we have booked them. You can see right here, it tells me I can view the trip if I want to now. I can set the password. I can do whatever I want to. I'm going to go back just real quickly and show you that it's showing up here. Yes, I have Scott doing it twice. That's okay. I meant to have Heather I meant to put Heather's name on that one, but that's okay. So now we're going to go ahead so I now know my land one does that land one is working just fine. We're going to go and we're going to test the Irish one here. So we're going to go ahead and again, go to the landing page, make sure I've enabled everything, make sure it's all turned on. If I have that on, publish it. Again, this is what my client's going to see. So if I have an issue, I can fix it, right? So I'm going to go back to this piece and we're going to go here and we're signing up for this one. I wish I was signing up for this one for real. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put my name in here. Um, and this time I did ask for an address because I want to make sure I have the information on that. I'm gonna put birthday in, female, and phone number. Okay. I'm gonna attempt to pass the passport part. I may have to come out back and do it, but because I haven't put any numbers or anything in there, it may let me bypass it. So we're gonna try it. If not, I'll come back, right? So there we have that. I'm just gonna use my same address, and her birthday is, and she's female. I'm just gonna use my same phone number. Again, I'm gonna attempt to pass that. Yes, we're gonna have the book the flights. We're gonna be flying out of Lincoln, and we are planning on, we would like to stay for a couple of extra days, and I will have a roommate. Her name is Heather Neiman. We do want to make separate payments, and we're going to split that deposit out. And this I'm just putting not applicable because we are going to split it out. I know to do all this information. I'm going to go test. And now I'm going to go and submit that. I'm going to hit the button this time. What is going, oh, you know what? Guess what? It's not going to let me do it. So I'm just going to go make up some numbers, and I'm going to put some information in here and just make up the stuff. I'm going to make up dates. This is 24, 30, and we're going to have the expiration 34, 31. Okay. And I got to do the same thing with hers. And place of birth, issuing, except 1 year, 30th, put it forward to 10 years, 31st. Okay. And let's try and see if it's going to let me do it this time. Have I faked it out enough, or is it going to make me do something? Oh, it's going to make me do, okay, female, United States. Let's do that one more time. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna go back. Okay, it did let the first one go through. For some reason, I must have done something wrong on the second one. So this is why I generally leave this off until after I'm through testing, because this is the one piece that they do have to go back and fix. And so it's just one of those pieces. I guess I could have also left it as not required. You must be a full access. Oh, crap. Chloe. Uh-oh. I forgot to log out for the last trip, guys. So cuss words. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to do a little cheat quick here, okay? I'm going to go back to the landing page. I'm going to edit the sign up form, and I'm going to quick delete those passport pieces just so I don't have to deal with them right now. So totally cheating, okay? I know. I own it. I'm going to totally own that. Okay, copy that back. I forgot what I'd done is I'd forgotten to sign out. So it thought that I was a full access, and because Heather was the one that had signed up before, it was just, anyway, I just forgot to sign out. So just remember, there you go. You just learned something more from me there. My name here, I'm going to change the email to turn.clo@gmail.com. Choose my address. Fill that out. 13. Phone, add additional traveler is going to be Heather. And I'm going to put in her address, the same, 07 20 88, female, phone. Let's see, yes, Lincoln. We're going to stay a couple extra days after. We will. Heather, would you like to make separate payments? Yes, we're going to have it split. This is not applicable. And now I'm here. Agree. Sorry. Okay, we should be good now. Yep, there we went. My apologies. Thank you for being so patient while I did that piece. Now I just gotta wait for my. Give me the, come on, mailbox. There it is. Secure link right there. Okay. And copy, paste. Okay, so we're gonna have a double occupancy room. Okay. And double occupancy has deposit for second person must be added on the next page. So I'm going to click on that and add that to the trip. Okay. So that's that activity block that I added to be able to, that when we talked about adding on adults and stuff. So here's the deposit for the original choice. Here's the deposit for the second passenger. Here's the information for my fake, for my fake card. Whoops, how did I do that? Re-enter. Oh, there it is. 737. And save that info. And then I'm going to go ahead and authorize it. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we have, I just want to let you guys know, if you haven't seen this part right here, as you know, when my client is agreeing to the terms here, they're agreeing to my terms, but they are also including and agreeing to the terms and use of whoever they're booking through the supplier is. And that is really important to understand. That's going to be a piece that's going to be helpful if there would be ever a chargeback, and it's going to make sure you don't get stuck with a bunch of stuff. So watch me go and log out so I don't forget to do it this time. I'm going to do that, make sure I'm logged out. Yep, okay. So now we're going to go and sign up for the last one, which was the actual cruise. Okay. So we're going to go to the cruise. I'm going to go ahead and double check the landing page, make sure it's all turned on. This time I do have the contact on there. So I'm going to publish, copy the landing page, and go back to my incognito window that I am logged out of this time. Okay. And I'm going to look at that. If I wasn't sure if I was going to go for sure and I had questions, I could do that here. But I'm just saying, sign me up. This one is going to be Jeff and I and Jared. Oh, I better not see Jared's name outside. He might think it's real and I can't do that to him. So we're going to do my email, which is turn.clo@gmail.com. Phone number, birthday. And we don't have loyalty programs. I'm not going to worry about that. Adding an additional traveler. And again, the phone, 514 1963. And then we're going to add one more traveler. And we're going to make Jared go in here. I should have made that not required, but it is what it is, right? So he's 8/20 1986. You're going to notice I had a lot of people having birthdays right now. So here we go. Okay, so we have everybody in. We are going to do a king, do the king configuration, but because there's 3 people, they're going to know to add a third bed in, okay? We don't have any accessibility needs. Jared doesn't have any accessibility issues, so we're good there. We are going to have them book our hotel, pre-hotel, and transfers. I understand about the deposit. We are going to do equal installments. I understand about the travel protection. We are going to sign here, agree, and everything went through. So all 3 of those, verify email. Oh, that part's gone through, sorry. And it's going to make me do this again. Oh, come on, there it is. Security. Now we've got our 3 travelers. We have decided we're staying in the junior suite. And so I'm going to submit the selections. I have a 3rd passenger, so I'm going to add that to the trip. If I want to go to the welcome party, because remember, this is a group, the affinity group. If I want to go to this one, I can add on to that. If I want to do the private tour, I can do that. I'm not going to, you know what? I am going to say, we're going to go ahead and go on that as well. I'm going to submit my selections. And once I do that, you're seeing here's the 3rd passenger deposit. Here's the original deposit for the for the double people. And then here is the add-on for all three of us for that. And the amount due today is $900. We're going to go ahead and select that card. We're going to agree to everything. We are going to sign it and agree to the signature. And now we're going to submit authorization. Now I'm going to stop here for 1 second. Your clients are going to see this page after they're done. They're going to be able to click on this and go view their trip and everything like that. It also is telling them exactly what you're going to have here, but they can also set a password. So if you have a client that doesn't love the having to go and get the 6-digit code, but would rather have password, they are able to do that here. And of course, then your information is down there. So we have completely done 3 different ones. We've signed them up. They all work together. And so that part's done. But we're almost at the point where we're getting done. So I am going to go, I want to let people ask questions, because do a couple of questions. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go into what do we do with those sub trips. So I had those people that want to split charges. I have people that we need to add insurance to. We need to customize some stuff. Maybe we have to add on pre-cruise or, pre-trips, that type of stuff. So I'm going to show you how to do those things. But before we go to that part, is there any questions on what we've actually done so far?
Okay, I think the biggest question in one form or another is, what does this look like to the agent? So when they filled it out and they submit it, what do we see?
That's the next piece. That's what we're going to be talking
Okay.
about. The sub trip. Yeah.
All right.
That's
covered.
literally where we're headed next. Is there
Okay.
anything else beyond that before that? Because that's that.
Oh, yes. Yes,
'Cause-
yes.
Okay.
I'm going to save that one for the very end. You got that one answered. Hold on.
That's okay.
Are you going to do more with the double occupancy part, double, triple, quad? And
I can go back that when we get into QA. I don't have that on here, but I can do that later in the questions and answers.
okay, I'll
Take
save that for later.
Yeah, because that was one was really kind of dealt with last week with that little piece. But I know that can be kind of confusing. And again, remember, this is the workaround I'm using currently, and it may not work in every single situation, but it seems to be working in most. So we will
Okay.
absolutely be able to talk about that a little bit later after, because that's more in the setup piece. That's more setting up the idea.
Okay. And then I because I was answering questions, trying
Okay.
to do 2 things at once. Did you cover different deposit amounts based on number of people yet?
Yes, that's one of the things we did when we just at the very end of that other one I showed how to do the add the deposit for if you have a third person in. That's how I personally am handling that right now. Hopefully maybe when we can go over that more in Q&A because that's kind of all part of that
Okay.
setup piece. So
Thank you.
that kind of encompasses all of that. Okay.
That takes my list down
Okay,
to things we can do at the end.
Okay, Jennifer or Cody, did either of you guys see any that we need to cover now before we move on?
Nope, I think we're all good.
Yeah, I think Kat got it.
Excellent. Thank you so much,
They've
guys.
kind of been answering most of the questions, and I've been like copying the things that are like.
Well, there,
later.
yeah. Do we have are these guys, you guys, I'm telling you, they are making this so much better and easier. Hopefully this is a much better flow for people. I have not even thought about the chat because I know these guys are in there and taking care of it. And so I'm so grateful for that. But we're going to actually jump into the actual sub trips. I've got to switch out my form because I'm really trying to follow my stuff. So you guys are being so patient. So thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we'll start. I'm on the cruise one. So let's just start here with the cruise. Okay. So, oh dear, where is it? There it is. Okay. So remember we had 3 adults that signed up. This is a family that's going together. And when you see it on the overview trip, you're going to see that this is, okay, when somebody registers using that link, after they register, it's going to put it in here under the sub trips. Once it becomes a sub trip, it is an individual. It becomes just this person. So this just belongs to Chloe Oxford. So if I make any changes or adjustments when I'm in this itinerary, it's not going to impact or affect anybody else's trip or the group trip. Okay, it's only going to be for them. All right. One of the things that I need to do is, because I put it on my forms and stuff like that, is add the insurance information. I can't do it at a group level. I have to wait and do it at a level at the sub trip level. So I'm going to show you two ways, okay, with this on how to do that. And I'm going to do it with people that, stop here. I'm going to show you one way and then I'll show you another way. Okay. So first way I'm going to show you is if you have a room or an itinerary where it's just one family, they're all leaving together, everything like that. And so you only have to worry about having one insurance policy or one insurance. Is you click on the insurance policy on the left hand and click on insurance here, and you can add your insurance options here. If you want to add the cruise lines information here, you can do that. And this is for ones that you, as the travel advisor, will collect the money and pay to the insurance company. I do this because my host company has a partner with somebody, and we have it set up so everything goes through my host company. So I don't have to send my clients there and say, okay, go sign this up and go pay for everything there. And, I'll get my kickback, whatever. I'm doing it for them. So understand this first part that I'm showing you is if you collect the payment and you pay it to the supplier. Okay. So I click on the insurance piece here. I click on select the supplier. So remember, I've gone into the sub trip. The supplier is, oh crap, is it not set up on this side? Oh, it's Arch. Sorry, I put in the wrong name. It's Arch Insurance Company. This is very important. You're going to put in the supplier policy. I have a link. Oh, and it does show up good. I have a link to the page that shows the coverage. So I'm going to add that here. In our company, we get a number, and it's always going to be, there's a certain number. I'm just going to grab that one. And then the date the quote is created. I always try to do this within 24 hours because there's that 14-day pre-existing that's out there. And so I actually try to get it done in 12 to 13 days. So I always try to do it the very same day as as the invoice comes in. And we're just going to say this one is $323. I have no idea what it is. Once all this information comes into place, I still need to go and make sure everything is going to be correct. So it's going to mark this. This is going to be marked as booked later, but not yet. So we have the authorization. It is ready to go. So we're just checking. Again, all these things are ready to go. If you have a due date, like a lot of times insurance policies cannot be purchased after final payment date. You can do that. I have a process for myself personally where I set it up on a 13-day cycle for them to be able to accept it within that first 13 days. If they don't, we just mark it as they didn't want it. But then a little bit closer to about a couple of weeks before final payment comes out, I remind them that they can still get it before final payment. So that's just a way that's a process that I use. You can go back to this. If you want to add several different options, maybe you want to offer yours, but maybe you also want to add the cruise lines, or you want to add something else. You can add different options. And then once you get this done, it is ready for your client to review. You can preview it if you want to. What's going to happen is the client's going to tell the insurance, you can see that it's already here, so they'll be able to pay for it, or they'll be able to opt out, that type of thing. So it just allows you to check it. What's going to happen is you'll want to publish it. It's going to happen on the client side is they are going to get, you're going to you'll send out a form that says, hey, your insurance is ready. They're going to have a little button here that says select insurance. When they click on it, it's going to bring them to here, and they are going to be able to choose. Okay. I have my email set up to be able to let them know about all those options. Okay. I'm going to go turn this off here, and we're going to, this time, let's do, so that's one way to do it. Okay. One way to do it. Another way is, and I know that there are a lot of people that use different options, and so they offer different options to their clients. Maybe they sell them to Allianz or something like that, and then the client actually clicks on the link and they go purchase the insurance there. Okay, so that's got to be handled just a little bit. Thank you, Jared. Appreciate that. Sorry, another package from Amazon. Okay, so the way that that could be handled would be using a form. I'm going to stop out of here and I'm going to go into my form that I have created for this. This is a form that you do not collect the money. This is not, you're not collecting the money, but you're sending them the information. So I have a waiver form that I created that has the travel protection information on it. And it has just the responder, but then I have a place here for the links. So you can add, you can put the name, you can provide the link so that they can go and they can look through that. You can tell them, here, let's do this in the preview. I always forget you can see it so much better in the preview. So of course you'd have the links here. They could click on those to check them out. They can say, I'm choosing to purchase travel protections through one of the above providers. I understand it is my responsibility to complete the enrollment process, and they can accept or decline. This is a protection through a third-party provider. They've accepted or declined it, or declining, and on this one is just declining. It says I've chosen the option above. Again, acknowledging that they have all the information, agreement here, and then close. Before anybody asks, yes, I will share this. I'm just going to go ahead and input it in the community so that you can find it. It is going to be called insurance waiver form that I do not collect money. Okay. So if you want it, I just added it to there. Just be sure to go and take my name out, put your name in, and put the appropriate information in these areas. Okay. So that is there. Now, how do I get that form to a client? Okay. So this time instead, when I'm in my trip, I'm going to go, because I want to do everything from within my sub trip. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on emails. I have already created an email template. So I'm going to click on new. I'm going to apply the template. The template that I'm going to use is in my insurance emails. And it's called the insurance. I'm calling it the insurance waiver form that I do not collect the money. That's the same name as, ironically, as my form, right? And it tells them that there's action required and they need to fill out that form, why it matters. And then again, in more bold, make sure that they do that form. That's how I'm collecting that information. I can share that email as well. So let me go to the library and get on that email. And let's find it. I did not collect it. Okay, I'm not collecting the money again. Oops, I didn't have to do that. One more down here, and I'm going to go ahead and share that again. That's going to be in the community. Okay. And that again says insurance form waiver email when I do not collect the money. Okay. So you have those. All right. So that's the second way that I collect email. Oh, excuse me. I collect or get the insurance information out to a client. Okay. So those are your two different ways. Somebody may do it a different way. So that was the first one. That was the first thing that I needed to do in that itinerary was get the insurance set up. Okay. Also, while I was in there doing the insurance, what was nice, excuse me, is I also collected the deposit information. Okay. So I'm going to go in here, and the place I'm going to find that deposit information, as again, I'm in here, I'm going to go to the authorization tab that is on the left part of the screen. I am going to go down to here. You can see it's authorized here, authorized here, authorized here. They authorize them all in the same place. I'm going to go to that on this one. These are both through Royal. Okay. And I'm going to go to to Royal Caribbean. I'm going to go add the information in. I'm going to go pay the deposits. I'm going to do all that stuff. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to mark it as paid. Leaving the balance, not doing there. I'm going to mark it as booked. This is telling me I'm missing some details. I'm going to go down there and add my confirmation details right here. Go down a little bit further. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and add I'm just going to call that's the confirmation number, and it was Royal. And that is done. That part is done there. If I go back to my authorization page, I've already added this information to that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it as also as paid, mark it as booked. I can go in and still add that authorization number to here, but this is not going to have any commission on it. So I'm not going to deal with a lot of it as much of that. I'm just going to mark it as not commissionable. And the way that I did that is I just clicked the little 3 dots over here and marked it as non-commissionable. Go ahead and add this in here just so you know that it's paid. You can add the supplier. Again, this is more for your information. And now when I'm clicking on authorization, I can see, okay, this is authorized and paid, authorized and paid, authorized. Oh, this one's not paid. So I need to go and I need to do the authorized here. Again, take the card. And here's what I need to, I apologize. I didn't show this on the first one. So this is authorized. This is where you get your card details. I can show this to you because this is a fake card. So you're going to get your card number here. You're going to get your CVV, everything, and then you have the address. So remember how I wasn't too concerned about getting the address right off the bat? That's because I had it here. That just depends, again, on you. Totally up to you. This will only stay up here for about 30 seconds. Once that disappears, you simply go in here and click on it and open it again, and you can get those numbers. You can click on this and highlight it, right mouse click and copy it if you want to be able to do that. But that's how you do it. Yeah, and I find it's easier to right mouse click and copy it. Just want to let you guys know that. I know that can sometimes be a little bit of a pain. We can mark it as paid, mark it as booked. Again, go in here and put the project expedition information, PE. We'll just use that one because it's on a demo account. And then I'm going to put project expedition. And if I have 15 bucks, I don't know what it is, and I can put the expected date and that type of information. I'm not going to really go into that, but now when I go to authorization, you can see I've got paid. This one is not ready. This just means that they maybe didn't select it or anything like that. We're not going to worry about it right now because I don't need those numbers. This one has the optional. We only had 3 passengers. I literally am going to go and I'm going to go in on the itinerary and I'm going to delete this. Okay, so I'm going to go to the itinerary because I do not need that. I don't want it gunking things up. I'm going to delete that. While I'm in there, I'm seeing that these guys did sign up for this, so I would make notations wherever we're doing to take counts for this. And then, of course, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and go along here, make sure everything's incorrect, and it all looks good. Whoops. And it all looks good, ready to go. Payments are ready to go for that, and we're set. I can now go to my bookings if I want to and generate an invoice to send my client out to let them know, hey, this is all ready to go. We've got all that information. But these clients decided they wanted to do the pre-cruise. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I am going to show you how I add a pre-cruise for a client that is booked into a trip, because generally it has several components to it. Okay. I have gone up into, and I've gone out to I go out to trips and I actually create a trip that I call pre-cruise. We'll just call it pre-cruise VIP add-on. The dates that I need it to be are for the dates +1. So that date, that cruise, okay, that we're doing is going to be April 11th to the 10th, but I want it, or 11th to the 18th. So I want this to be April 10th to the 18th because I'm adding on 1 day to this, okay? But you're noticing I'm doing it out here and I'm doing it in a regular trip. Once I'm in there and I create it, I'm going to go ahead and create a draft here. I've actually got a pretty one, but I'm going to put the flights here. I'm going to add the lodging in, and I'm going to add all these pieces in that needs to. I'm going to update it correctly, and I'm going to then go ahead and save it as an itinerary template. I'm skipping all the pretties because through the magic of preparing. I already have it done. So what I've done now is I've saved that as an itinerary template piece. I made sure that I saved it with the dates and times. And so now I can go into, whoops, I can go into here. I can go back to this client's client, go to the itinerary. They're doing the pre-cruise. So I want to go ahead and click on the 3 dots here, and I'm going to edit it. And this is where I'm going to change the date. If I change it here and I'm going to back it up here, just click it that way. Make sure you scroll down and click update itinerary. And now you can see that's there. So I want you to just notice all the stuff is here, but I'm going to now drag that itinerary onto the 10th because that's, remember, I set that up to the 10th and it is, where did I put that? That's Prague. Sorry, guys. There it is. I know I have it on here. Pre-cruise add-on. Oh, whoops. So here's telling me exactly what I did. It's got to be 27. So I actually accidentally on my pre-cruise trip here, the one that I saved, whoops, the one that I saved, I accidentally put the wrong dates. So I am actually going to select on that. It's not going to let me do it. I was going to go edit it. Well, let's just go duplicate it and just change it out a little bit. Sorry, guys. Gotta always have one little thing that I do wrong, right? Although this is not that little. I am gonna go ahead and edit. I'm just gonna create a trip for the template. Yeah, I'm gonna create a trip for the template and then I'm gonna change my date, my year. So I'm just I'm gonna create a trip for that template and then I'm gonna save it again. Sorry. So you guys are gonna see now I'm gonna go through. I've got all this is all the information that I have on it. I am actually going to save this itinerary as a template. I'm gonna put 27 on here. And I don't need the prices because the prices are not going to be the same, but I do want the dates and the times. So I am going to copy those over. So I apologize. That was just something I needed to change. It happens. Not going to get too stressed about it. Go back in here one more time. And I'm going to go back here to the page, click on the itinerary. I've already got that date changed, correct? So I'm going to go on the itinerary. I'm going down to pre-cruise, making sure I choose the 2027. What have I done? Oh my gosh. I know what I did. So you guys probably see it too, right? So I am on this cruise here and the edit. This is the actual cruise.
Hey, Chloe, whenever you made your other template, you selected 2027, but not an actual
Oh,
date.
I didn't actually
Yeah.
update it, did I? Thank
No,
you.
you're good.
I'm going, I
Mhm.
know
Like
I
26.
Yeah, I put 2026, so I need to actually update that. Thank you. That's what I did. So what I did is I did not update the template. I did the words, but I didn't actually update the template itself. So thank you so much. It's just taking me a second to figure out what I did. So I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to update it and I'm going to move things, keeping them on the correct dates. I'm going to double check it. It's like, okay, yep, everything is right here. And of course, I did the wrong one, you guys. Let's delete that. Chloe. There it goes. Edit. And you guys, I want you to notice something too. So it's 2027. If I try to put the 27 before on the the first, there's a first date, and this as the second time, I need to do it from the back end first because I'm going further in the future. If I tried to put it before the dates, it would give me all kinds of messed up stuff. So you can't put the first, the 2027 doesn't come before 2026. So I always just start with that last
Change
piece.
your header date.
So yeah, just change it into that. So anyway, okay, so now we're going to go ahead and save this correctly. I'm going to go ahead and call this third time's the charm. Let's put this, use this one. Okay. And then I'm going to update the itinerary. All right, so now we've got that done. I'm going to click on that. So now what is it? Now we're at about the 18th time is the charm. We're going to make it work this time. So we're going to pull this in. We're going to go down here. Of course, I'm going to one that went to this. I said, use this one. Why did it not save? What name did I give it, guys? I'm going to have 15 of this. I'm going to have 15 of this trip. Whoops. Of this itinerary is going to be, I'm going to end up showing up. I'm going to have like 20 million of them in here. So use this one. I'm going to copy the dates and times. Sorry. Use this one. Okay, that showed it saved to the library. It may have done it before and I just didn't see it, or I may have put it somewhere else. So we're going to go right here to the itinerary, not at the top level. And there we go. Itinerary. When this works, it's awesome. Okay, use this itinerary. There it is. It may have been there before and I just missed it. So I'm going to click on add to itinerary. And you're going to see everything has pulled in here now, right? Nothing else got messed up or anything like that. It added the transfers, it had all that information. And now on the back end, I'll go to bookings. They are right here. If it's going to be in a package, I can package them up and I can set up the actual, I can go in here and I can set up if there's a deposit, if they have to pay it in full, I can get all that information put together and send it to my client now, and they're ready to be able to go with that. Okay. I apologize about screwing up that template with the dates. Dates matter, apparently. And I got that fixed. Is there any questions, though, on what we did there as far as that was concerned, other than the mess up parts?
None that were asked.
Okay. So anyway, I've got that update. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the resort where we have the family of 4. Okay, that we have signed up. So we're gonna go to the resort first. Reason I'm doing that is because this one is a little, again, fairly easy to do. Again, you're going to add the insurance policy the same exact ways I showed you on the cruise. You can either do it yourself or you can send out that email with the information you have on that. It's going to be done exactly the same way. Same thing with the deposits. You're going to come in here to the authorization. You're going to update this information. You're going to see these ones that are, whoops, I have an excluded one here. Oh, that's because, oops. I've been messing with some stuff. Sorry. You guys are seeing some things that are paid. Was messing with some things earlier and I forgot to unmess them. So we're going to just fix these real fast. And anyway, so this is what you'll actually see. My apologies. Now I have this set up with the deposit is authorized. Again, same thing. You're going to go in. You're going to come down here and the authorization amount is here. You're going to get that information off of here, go to the resort or, whatever supplier you're using, pay that deposit, can mark it as paid, mark it as booked, add in the confirmation details, and then it's ready to go. So same exact process as you did on the resort. But now it's about 3-4 weeks out from the trip. Okay. And grandma's decided, hey, I really want to have a dinner the first night we're in, because remember, this is the family reunion. So grandma has decided she wants to do a dinner, and then she's also going to pay for a glass bottom thing for them to go on a ship with a glass bottom and go out on their boat and stuff like that. So she's providing that. She wants to add it to everybody's itinerary. She's paid for it and everything. So we now need to add that to the group level, because there may still be people that are going to sign up later on. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create the template. I do know this one works because I tested it out a couple of times. So this one, so I've already created the template. It's already in here. And I am actually going to go at the group level. So I'm on the group level, and I'm going to go to that itinerary, and I am going to bring that itinerary into here. The reason I'm bringing it into the group level is because Grandma has decided she's going to, okay, and I have this, where did I put it? Grandma add on. You guys, I actually created one that's called Grandma's Add-on. Where did I put it? Okay, let's just look at some dates here. Anybody else? I don't think that's it. Let's just see if I actually put it on this one. Nope, that wasn't it. Well, crap. Okay, we're going to go back and we're going to make that template. Let's just make it from the start. This is okay. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to see it again, right? So we're going to go ahead and put, I'm going to call it Grandma's Add-ons. See, I had one there. Why? And then the dates for this trip are January, and we're going to use the right dates this time, 2026, the 4th to the 9th. Okay, so we're going to create that trip. What we want to have happen is on that second night here, Grandma wants to have a family dinner, and she's taking care of it. I'm just going to put family dinner. You would put in all the information, where it's going to be. There's no pricing that's needed, nothing like that. It's just an informational block that's going to be attached to them. Grandma's paid for it. It's probably already on her itinerary, everything. You don't have to worry about that. Second thing is they've decided she wants to take them out on that glass boat, and we're going to do that on the 8th. So I actually happen to have that activity set up in my stuff as luck would have it. And we're going to Cabo, and we're going to do that glass bottom tour. Now, when I did that and I saved this, it was originally an optional add-on. Well, I don't want this to be an optional add-on. This is something that is happening. This is something that Grandma is providing. So I need to go in there, go to the booking and pricing, scroll down here, and where it says client selection, I am actually either can add for client, or I can just make it not optional. I'm going to make it not optional because it's going to go on an upper level on the groups trip. So I just want it to just be there. I don't have any mess ups or any problems with that. Okay. If I have anything else I want to add on here, I could do that. I can add 5, 6, 7, 8 items on here and have it all done. But you're noticing I'm not putting anything else but the dates on here. So if something else is already on the itineraries, I am not adding that. This is just the additions that I want to do. After I get that done, I'm going to go ahead again and save it as a template. I'm calling this one Grandma's Add-ons. I don't need any prices, but I do want the dates. And I'm going to save that template. Now I'm going to go to that trip. And I'm going to go to the family reunion here. I'm starting at the itinerary at the group level. And I'm going to drag that itinerary into place. Going to put Grandma's Add-ons there. So people are just going to automatically see this. I put it at the group level. So anybody that signs up after that has been added, it is automatically going to be on their itinerary. So I'm not going to have to go back and add it. But what about these people that have already signed up? I am going to need to go into each of them, and I am going to need to update their itinerary. But I am easily going to be able to just drag that itinerary on there. I'm going to add this on here, and I can do it all at one shot very quickly. You could do this one at a time with a activity add-on if you want to. I prefer to do it at a higher level. If you have more than one item, it's just a little bit quicker. So anyway, this is just one way you can add it on. No, it's not perfect. It's not ideal, but it works in this situation. Until hopefully one of these days we'll have it going up and down to be able to have it so we can update these. But in the meantime, this is a definite workaround that works. There's a fly in here. It's driving me crazy. Okay, so that is the resorts. Are there any questions on this concept of the adding an additional, adding on some stuff to the itineraries after? or any pieces of this that you need any questions on this part before we move on to the last one, which is the one that has all the stuff, and we're going to be splitting payments and all kinds of stuff here. So before I do that, I want to make sure.
Kat, I'm not sure about, sorry, Chloe, I'm not sure about questions, but I wanted to give you a time check that it's 20 after 3.
Yes.
Okay.
And we're totally good. And I had said at the very, very beginning, I am willing to stay as late as I need to for everybody. If you need to go ahead and go. It is being recorded. But I did right from the very beginning, said I would stay because I know that this is a lot of information. And I know that some people have come for certain pieces. So I did try to let you know that. But if you do need to go, please do not feel like you have to stay. But if you have questions on what we've done so far, and then we're going to get into that last piece, which is going to be 2 adults paying separately, and then I'll do whatever Q&As you guys want me to do. Okay?
Chloe, I
Yes.
do have a question if it's okay to speak.
You bet, of course.
Okay, why is it that you added an additional itinerary on top of the existing for grandma's add-ons rather than just taking segments to add to the existing itinerary?
Because there was more than one segment. So if I had to keep dragging, I had to drag this segment on and this segment on and this, it takes more time. By putting it in a itinerary template, I was able to bring all of those elements in at one shot. You could definitely do them one at a time if you want to. This is just a much quicker way to do that. Does that answer that question?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You betcha. You betcha.
Okay, I can't find the question, but to answer it, but somebody said something about adding a planning fee. They're not booking themselves, they're telling you what they want to be booked. So you can add the planning fee on when you send them the proposal.
Oh,
or
and what
whatever stage.
yeah, so it's the same kind of concept. So that's a question we'll put in after we get done with this first part, because that's kind of one of those things that is, the planning fee. I'll go through and show you how I do that after that. So Kat, if you just make a note for me.
I will. I just
I don't
couldn't
know-
find it to copy it, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna miss this.
Yeah,
All
go
right,
ahead and just
thanks.
look at that. No worries.
Mhm.
So we're going to go to the last trip type, okay, which is going to be the one where we have 2 adults that are going separately. They're going together in one place, but they want to pay separately, and they've paid the deposit. I don't accept the 2 different deposits. I make them deal with the deposit. One of them can pay it, and the other people can pay it back, or whatever. That's the one piece. They're adults. They can figure that piece out. Once it's booked, I'm more than happy to split it all out for them. Okay. It's just, it's a choice I've made within my business. You may decide to do it differently, but that's how I made that choice. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on this first one. The client has paid, they've made the deposit, and everything, and they're ready to go. And now it's time for me to split payments. But there's something that is important, and I cannot highlight this piece enough. Okay. Before you start messing with your payments or splitting or anything like that, there's 2 things you need to know. The first thing is you need to go and get the credit card and make that deposit at the vendor, so you do not lose this information, because the stuff I'm about to tell you is going to make you lose this information. You're not losing the authorization, because as soon as they authorized over here in your documents, it immediately created an authorization. And even if I lose that the credit card number underneath, this does not go away. Okay. I'm going to say that again. This is really important. Before you do anything with messing with creating installments or changing the way that you're receiving the different payments, the first thing that you need to do is go and take that credit card and make the payment with your supplier, so you have a copy of this card. Because once you start messing and doing the things I'm going to teach you, you will lose this piece. You're just going to, but you're not losing the authorization, because that authorization still lives in the documents on your itinerary. Okay. Any questions about that before I start showing you how to modify and make this work for splitting up a payment? You guys all understand that? What number one thing you need to do, go make the payment while you have the credit card authorization right off the bat. Okay.
No questions
No
on
question.
that.
Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to start doing some stuff under bookings. Okay. I'm going to point out these two totals right here. We have 64.90 and 25.50 or 250. That is the total of what actually the excuse me, the not even though they paid $250 here, this part here is actually the total of, whoops, I didn't mean to hit the button. That's actually the total of the tour. This is just showing the $250 in a different place. We are going to change this all up now. This has Heather and Chloe on this trip. Okay, so we have 2 people on this trip. I'm going to come over to new item over here on the right, and I'm going to click package. And I'm going to go ahead and put Chloe, and I'm going to put Ireland Adventure, and then I'm going to put includes insurance, because those are the Ireland Adventure and includes insurance. I am going to take half of that 64.90. I'm going to divide that by 2, which is 32.45. Whoops. Not going to put it there. I'm going to put that here. 32.45. Okay. I told them on the thing that I want you to split the deposit. Okay. So I can either choose deposit and final balance, or I could set up installments. I'm going to go ahead first. I'm just going to go ahead and click on deposit and final balance. And I'm going to allow partial payments, because I've decided I'm going to do partial payments, and it's going to allow me to do payments throughout. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put the $250 deposit that I made. Remember, I've already made that. I'm going to mark it as paid, put in the date it was paid. I'm going to scroll on down here, and you're going to see none of this is filled out, right? So I need to go in here and fill this information out. I'm going to mark it as booked, because I've now booked it. And you notice that I'm only doing this on one person's right now. I'm going to go ahead and put down the information on the confirmation number. And I'm going to put CIE in here. And then I'm going to come down to commission. I'm not going to add commission on this one. I'll do it on the second one. The reason is going to be apparent here in just a second, but I did want to point this piece out. So on this one, I am actually going to mark this one as, no, I'm not going to mark it. It doesn't even matter right now. So I've got this one all ready. It's ready to go here. I've got the first deposit done. I've got my name on here. And so when I go back to bookings, we're going to go down here, and you can see it's all set up, right? It's deposited. It's ready to go. I'm going to click on this little 3 dots. Oops. Oh, no, it doesn't let me do this. I apologize. I was going to duplicate it, but it doesn't let me duplicate it. So I'm going to come back up here. And you guys do not laugh at me, because this is just one of my things I have to do. I'm actually going to copy this because I like things to look the same. So I'm going to click on new item. I'm going to create a second package, and this one's going to be for Heather. I'm going to do the exact same thing, $332.45. Oops. She has paid her $250 deposit, but she wants set installments. So we have something different here. She wants to do installments. So I'm going to go ahead and set up installments. Her first installment was $250, and it is paid. Okay, I'm going to come back and do her installment payments in just a second. I'm going to do the same exact thing here. CIE Tours, whoops. And then I'm going to go ahead and let's see, put the confirmation in. I don't think I hit, and this information here. But this time, I am going to put the commission in, and it's going to be the commission for the entire total. I don't want to split it into 2 different pieces, because that's hard to track. Still on the same trip. Commission is going to be easier to track here. I don't know how much it's going to be, so we're just going to say we wanted to get the comma once. We're going to do it to $1,000. We're going to expect it in, I don't know when, we'll just put 26, whatever. There we go. And it is booked. Okay, so we've got all the information in here. So now remember, this person wanted to do installments, and they want equal payments. And it happens to be that they're going to be let's do it in words. let's just say they've only got four options. So we're gonna do 4 options. So it's, or 4 installments. So we're gonna do installment number 2. It's gonna be $748.75. And today is the 30th, so she's gonna be due on September 30th. I'm not gonna do anything here. I'm just getting it ready. I'm gonna do the next one. And yep, it's taking me a little bit more time right now, but long term, once it's all said and done, this is going to be really fast to go and do, right? So as I'm doing this, you guys are going to notice this balance is going down here, okay? So it's telling me, okay, this is what the balance is. This is what the balance is. And the last installments here is. And then the final payment just happens to be due. Aren't we lucky that it just happens to be due on December 31st or December 30th? Okay, and then I marked that due. So it's all ready to go. So now on my booking side, it looks like they owe $13,000 and $13,230, right? That is not correct. That is not correct because I've got the number here, but it's also up here on the original. I need to get rid of that. Quite honestly, I don't even need this block anymore. And I don't need this block anymore because I accounted for both of them here. And I have the document over here that shows that they have authorized the payment. So I'm going to go to the itinerary. I'm actually just going to delete this piece and delete this piece. Now, if it was something that I needed the information from, maybe it was maybe they were at a resort and it was one resort hotel, I would just go remove the total out of it. I would just go remove the total of the amount into it, okay? So now I have this switched for the clients. Let's go back to the authorizations. And you can see that they have the insurance, includes insurance. It's ready, has hers all ready to go here. All the different things here. So when they go to preview, they're going to be able to see she can pay all of it at one time, or she can adjust the amount. And then here's her installment showing 2 of 2. I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to go ahead and make one payment. Well, and then I could go ahead and make the payment here. And so that's what the client is going to see. Okay. There's the second part of creating a duplicate. So first, before I go anything, is there any questions on splitting that payment? I could split that payment between 5 or 6 people. It doesn't matter the way that it looks for the client. Let me just show you on the actual invoice what it looks like for them, or on this, what is it called? The itinerary. It looks like this down here. So I'm showing my deposit. My final payment is ready for authorization here. And this is what our installments are and when they are due. So that information is for the clients. It tells exactly who's on it. And they're not seeing each other's actual credit cards. They're only seeing if they paid. That's just, and if you have a roommate and you are worried about if they're seeing your payments or not, probably should have a different roommate because it really doesn't matter. So that's what the client is seeing, and you can see the authorized payments here. So is there any questions on that part? Because the next piece we're going to do is go to the insurance.
I'm not sure if this is going to make sense. Why can't you split it in the beginning instead of build it as one block, then delete and add the 2 passengers?
Because it's in the group. It's a group thing. And you don't know that you don't have that information before.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just not it's not information you have. You can't create something based on information you don't have. So you have to wait till you have the information. Does that make sense?
She said perfect, thanks.
Okay. I know sometimes it's just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It's like, because I kept thinking, because I have tried to figure out how to do it beforehand, and it just never quite works. It's so much easier. It's a lot less work for me to take a little bit of time on the back end and make it less of a headache for my client, because I want to make as few pain points for my client as possible. Just like Turn is trying to find as few pain points for us as they can. They keep just knocking out more clicks and stuff like that. I'm doing the same thing for my client. Yes, it's going to take me a few more steps once I receive that booking, but you get pretty quick at them. You get pretty fast at them. So, and it really doesn't take that long to do. Okay. All right. I'm going to go on to adding insurance. you've got two people here. It just so happens one of them lives in one country or state and one of them lives in another state, right? So we're just going to pretend that. So they actually need insurance of their own and it needs to be split. I cannot use this insurance block for that. There are two ways. Again, there's two ways to do this. I have actually in my itinerary or my library, excuse me, built out from my library. Whoops, I'm sorry, I didn't want to do that. I got a quick click on the button when I'm pointing at something. In my library, I built out an itinerary for my options for my and you guys, and I know it's include that it says that the insurance is included on this one. We're pretending that it's not just because I want you to see how to be able to do this for a split. Okay, so pretending it's not there. Imagine, if you will. Okay, so I have an insurance template that I have worked out that I called my options template. In my options template, I have built out, you know what, I don't want to use mine because having seen my names on it could be maybe confusing. So let me pull in the one that is not insurance. Crap, is that the one I have? Oh, there it is, master insurance right there. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this one in. I'm doing this just so it makes it a little bit easier. So if you're offering more than one option of protection, you can do that here. What I do is I create one option block to start. So I'm going to go ahead first in here and I'm going to put my name on it. Then I'm going to go to here and I'm going to create my first option. I'm not going to offer 3 options. They get an option. But I want to make sure I put my name on, put the name of the client on each of these options, because once they choose it, they will separate out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put my name in there. I am also going to put my name on this one, just so this way I know who's choosing what. Come on. There we go. So make more sense once I show it to you a little bit more here. Keep hitting things here. Now I've got one more thing I need to do prior to doing this, is I need to go into the one that actually has the protection on it. And I need to put my information in here. I'm just going to put leisure care. I can't spell leisure care parasitic, leisure care classic. I'm going to go in and I'm going to go down here to this. I'm going to put the policy links in here, any other information I need. I'm then going to go to the booking and pricing. Remember, this is one that I collect the money for and pay through my host. Okay, important in detail. I am going to choose one person. So let's just say that this is going to cost each of them $235. Okay, so it's a total of $470 for the whole trip, but they each only have to pay their component of it, which is $235. I'm going to go through here. I'm actually paying it through my host, so I need to go ahead and use my host information because that's who it's going to show. I'm going to just pretend I have terms and conditions in here, and non-refundable because it is that, and then I've got all the information I need. So I've got it ready to go for my clients, so they'll be able to choose the options because this is an option block. Okay. I need to do this exact thing for the second client. So I'm literally just going to click on this one and duplicate the activity. I'm going to go in here and change the name on each of these items. Nothing else needs to change. It's all the same, right? So I'm just going to change it on these. And this is quite a lot of work this way, but it works if you need to be able to show what did I do? Didn't I just change that name? Oh, I did on the top one. Sorry. What the heck? Now I'm starting to sound like my granddaughter. Or maybe it's that she sounds like me. And the last one. And we've got that itinerary. So now those are ready for the client to be able to make their decision. So what's going to happen is you're going to send them out an invoice, and they're going to have something here that's going to look like this. They have choices to make. So they're going to select on their preferences and they're going to see, oh, there's close information. She has to choose one of those options. Here's Heather ones. She needs to select one of those options. Okay. So each of them will select their own options. If they pay, if I choose, like say I'm going to just say I'm choosing a third party. So I'm going to edit this up. We're going to pretend I've done this in the other one. I'm going to go ahead and buy it elsewhere because I have it through I have a year plan. Okay. I'm going to convert that to a single activity. But Heather is going to go ahead and pay for it because she doesn't have a yearly plan. So I'm selecting this for the clients right now. So she's going to select this one. And we're going to convert that to a single activity. Now it is showing on here as Chloe's doing this, Heather's doing this. I will look into the authorization here. You can see there's nothing that's going to happen here. Oops, I forgot to put the dates in. Oops, I didn't check that first. But anyway, it should have her, I should be able to have her authorization there and everything. We can take care of it. What I do with them at this point, because they're really kind of gunking up everything, I do switch them to the last day of the itinerary. That's just something I have always done. And that gets them out of the way. This is the old way I used to do it, but when I had to make payments and I needed to show payments here, it's kind of was nice to do it that way. I'm going to show you another way to do it, either as the person that is receiving the payment or the person, or if you're receiving the payment and you have to pay it out, or if you need to, they're going to go ahead and do the the other way that we talked about, where you guys send them the links. So if you're sending them the links, same exact process. You're going to go to your emails. You're going to send them this email. This is if you're having them sign that one waiver. That is you're not collecting the money. This is how you do that. Again, you're going to send that out to them. This is going to be going out to both the travelers on here. So I put Heather's name on here and I put Chloe's name on here, and they are both responsible for their own. So that's how you would do that. I also, and I haven't made the email on this yet, an email on this one yet, but I also created a second, as I was going through and figuring all this stuff out, I created a second way for those of you that collect the payment information and apply it at your host. And I created another form, and this is what that form looks like, where I'm going to collect it. Let me show this to you, and I can share this with you as well. So it is going to go ahead and it's taken into the Leisure Classic Care, all that type of stuff here as well. It's basically the same one. I just changed it so it has just my information on it. I have not put it in an email yet. So I could send that out, and this is actually the way I will do it now, but this was something that I hadn't thought of before because I just hadn't thought of it. So now I'm going to go ahead and plan on doing it this way. How that looks for you going to your client's itinerary is you are still going to have to create a block for them to pay. Okay, so they've gone through, they've selected that, yes, they want to do this, but now you still have to collect their payment. And I'm just going to I am going to create an activity block that says travel protection, and it's going to have all the information on it that they can pay on that. That's my plan. I do not have it set it up. It's one of those things that kind of occurred to me. I think I was actually probably in the shower thinking about the class and the waiver where they pay it themselves or go and do it themselves. And I thought, hey, that would work here. So I decided to add that. So anyway, are there any questions on what I just did there? I gave you kind of three options. One, of course, if they are going to go and choose their insurance and pay at the link that you sent them, you can offer them the option block if you want to, or you can send them the waiver and do it that way. So there's three different ways to do that. Is there any questions on any of that part? Anything about the splitting the payments and understanding that piece?
No.
Okay. All right, guys, I know we're over a long time. I told you I would do Q&A. I need to take about a 5-minute break. I probably not even that long. Basically, I've been drinking enough liquid. I need to go take a quick break. And then I'm going to come back. I'm going to open up where I can see the chat. And I'm going to ask, you guys can ask questions. So kind of consider about what you want to ask. I know that Kat has a list of things. I am going to be back in just a minute, okay?
Okay.
Can we pose questions while Chloe's
You
out?
can, as long as you haven't done it before.
Well, I put 'em in
Otherwise I
chat,
have to
but-
try and like remember them. I have like an entire sheet. I'd really rather not copy and paste them. So when we go through them, if she doesn't ask your question, then you can type it in, type it in chat when she's done.
Okay, well, I put them in chat, but I don't think they've been answered, so I don't, do you want me to?
Right. A lot of them I've just copied or like tried to say we'll answer it later.
Okay,
Because I have a whole, almost an entire 8.5 by 11 sheet.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay, guys, I'm back. Thank you. All
Okay,
right.
well, I'm gonna pull up your chat and I'm gonna put them in like red.
My private chat.
No, just pull up like the chat. I'm gonna just put them in there.
Okay.
Copied them as we went.
All
I
right.
don't want the whole thing red. Well, I
Okay.
guess.
So yeah, just go ahead.
You know what?
Copy. Yeah.
There's question number 1.
Okay. So the question is, I have a destination wedding in Jamaica next year. Each person is required to pay a $200 deposit. How do I ensure that when the guests sign up, they are authorizing the correct amount based on the number of the people in the room? Okay, so that I'm going to go back to, I'm actually going to go to the, I put that information on the cruise. Stop and think which one. So remember, even though I'm doing it as showing it as a cruise, this can also be done with yours. So on the itinerary, underneath your stateroom, okay, you are going to have your rooms all set up however you want to. You're going to make sure that you have it so they can make their choices. And under the booking and pricing, you're going to base it on occupancy. Now, right now, in turn, you can only have a single deposit. Okay. So if you're going to have single, double, triple occupancies, so you're going to need to know the total amount of the room, whether it's a double occupancy, triple occupancy, or quadruple occupancy, because they're going to have to pay all of the deposits at one time, right? And if you have a single occupancy rate where they're going to be able to just be one person in a room, you can add that as well. Because double occupancy for me on this one is the lowest amount, which would be for this group is, for instance, it's $250, okay? For 2 people, that is $500. So I put down here in the deposit $500. That is based on the double occupancy. I've also made it clear, you can also make it very clear that if you add a third person and a fourth person, that they will need to be able to pay that deposit. And the way that I did that is on the itinerary, I created a third passenger deposit and a fourth passenger deposit. And it's required if there's a third person added, and you'll notice on here, it's optional. So what I did is I'll go into the block and I'll show you. So I created and put third passenger deposit required if third person is added. And I realized, I'm going to tell you right now, I understand that this is not the most optimal way to do this right now, but it is a workaround that I have found to work for me. Okay, so I just want to make that really clear. So I'm going to, after I add that information here, I'm going to click on booking and pricing, and I'm choosing flat rate. And the reason I'm choosing flat rate is there can only be one passenger, one third passenger. There can only be one fourth passenger. So I'm choosing flat rate. And then I'm coming down here and I'm putting the full amount. That is the deposit. Because remember, I've just told you up here, this is the third passenger's deposit. It's required if it's third person's added on. I put in the amount here. I put in the supplier information. And before I did this, I'm going to go ahead and make this not optional. This is what it looks like. I checked it to make it optional. That way, when they go through the process of signing up, I'm going to show you what it looks like in a preview. So when they go through the process of signing up, where is that? Sign me up. Go through all this. Sorry, I made it so I didn't have to. I did it from back in. They're going to choose whatever room they want. Okay, so they're choosing this one maybe, and they're going to select go here, and then it's going to say you have it's the optional add, and it does say optional add-ons, but I have put down required if third person is added. I can add that to the trip, and then I can also add a fourth one if I need to. And then when they get to that final page, and it's not going to show right now because I don't have any clients actually on this trip, but when I get to here, it's actually going to show with this deposit. It didn't show now because I don't have anybody on the trip. I wonder if I can, I'm going to go back and see if I can choose something here. If I hit add trip, yeah, there's no travelers to choose from, but it would put that $250 deposit. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and review the configurations for the, okay, so we'll go back to that. Yeah, this was something that was done last week. So what I did is the rooms, I just go down here and I just put in what they are. You could add into this if you want to. Third and fourth passengers require, you can put information here that says if third person is added or fourth person added, deposit will be on next page, whatever. You can add that information for the client or for them to know. But this was all done here. Review the configuration for cruise. That is something we did. The double occupancy and the third and fourth guests. So this is the that is done here. The double occupancy and triple occupancy. So here I'm just going to go ahead and delete this one right here just so I can add it back in. So when you have once you hit and put the check mark into the prices based on occupancy, it automatically defaults to double, just so you know that. I can then go in and add whatever rates I want to. I want to do the quadruple. I'm going to put that in there. If this room is something that, it's only going to be triple occupancy. If it's only available for triple occupancy, remove the quad from it. If it's like maybe this one's only available for double occupancy, remove triple and quadruple. So whatever that room that you have booked is available for, that's how you do it. I can go back to, I'm going to go to the family reunion one because that will show you a little bit better here. So in the room configuration on this one, I have the 4-bedroom and it's a quad is required. It just tells you it's a 2-bedroom, a quad is required. And I did put the kids' ages in here. Same room, quads required, kids are this age. And I probably would not even put the kids' ages. I'd probably just put adults and children and just leave it at that, knowing that I'd probably have to make some adjustments. That's just, I know right now I'm going to have to make some adjustments. Okay. So I have that on here, but down here I can have just maybe it's a double occupancy only. I can make sure that people know that right off the bat. But so I have that in the informational here, so they don't lose that information, or so they have that information. But once I come to the booking area, that stuff that I put there is also going to be here. Well, this only thing that it can have is quad. It has to have a quadruple or you can't book it. It's just, maybe that's something that you have to have. And this actually, this room right here, it does have a quad requirement on it. So anyway, so quadruple occupancy is required. I don't have the other ones in there because they're not available. They're not available for double or triple. They're only for a quadruple. If they want to put 3 people in the room, they're still going to pay the quadruple price. Okay. And then down here, this one is a double occupancy only. So even if they have quadruple, it's not going to show up for them because it's only double occupancy. Okay. Okay, so Tommy, I see that. So when you do this and you have the rooms and you have them looking the same way, make sure when you're on the rooms page, there is going to be a right up here, there's a button that says convert to options. If you have not clicked that, they are not going to give them as options to show on the sign me up page. Okay. Also, the second part of that is the second part of that is you need to go down here and you need to make absolutely sure you have all your booking details in place. If your booking details are not in place, it's going to tell you that. So look at here too. It says this is ready for authorization. This is going to show once your client has chosen the rooms, this will be ready for authorization. If this says anything else or is yellow or something like that, it will not show. The way you do inventory is you literally are just going to add the inventory in here. Now, very important. I have this 2-bedroom garden view, and you can see I have it in several configurations of telling them people because the pricing is maybe a little bit different for each one. That's going to mess up the inventory. This is a situation that I do not use the inventory for it. I go back to the old pen and pencil using the an Excel sheet or something like that because of the situation. And you just have to monitor it really well. On a cruise ship, it's a little bit easier because you know exactly what you're going to have, and there's not as many configurations as you might have at like a resort. Okay. Tommy, did that answer that question on the sign me up page? So there's 2 things you want to, first off, you need to make sure that you have it convert to options, and then you need to make sure that it's per room and that you have the pricing details in per room. And then you need to go down here and you need to make sure your booking details are all completely in. Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Oh, the next one's in there.
The inventory, I showed the inventory.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
Did you do planning fee?
Nope, I haven't done planning fee yet. Okay.
There, that's official. Then
that was that we'll go back to we'll just be that efficient. Okay, so let's just say that I have a client that they have decided they want me to go ahead and do their flights and everything like that. I do charge a planning fee for that. What I do, because I again have a host company, okay, this is also done on a sub trip level. Okay. So these guys have decided they want me to go ahead and do their flights. They know it's going to cost them a little extra money because I've told them. So what I do is I actually have an activity block set up for my planning fee and concierge fee. If you can collect service fees, you can add them in here. I can't, I'm a host. And the way that I do that is I bring my activity block in. And, oh, of course, I don't have it in this one because I'm in my demo. So I'm actually going to go to the turn community because I believe I've shared it in there. So let's find out. Yep, there it is. Concierge and planning chart. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, add it to the trip. And then I am going to come down here, put in I want to make sure first, I need to make sure the price or the date is there. I'm going to come and put the pricing. So this is a family of 4 and it's flights. I'm just going to do $150 for them to do their flights for them. Everything's in place. Check your authorization and make sure it's ready. Publish it, email them, and let them know once they pay that fee that you'll get started on their flights. And that's how I do a planning fee. Okay. You know, Tommy, if you are not finding it, send me a message after. I will be glad, or you know what, in fact, you can just stay here. In a few minutes, we can maybe even pull, if you don't mind jumping on and showing your screen, we can walk through it and we can look for the issues. Okay. Let me answer these other questions real quick. Okay. Okay. Kat, okay, thank you. Kat, so in the question that she was asking is, how do I show in my sub trips if I have 2 people are splitting something? So what I'll do is,
No. What they're saying is after they fill it up, they were asking, well, how do you know where the trips are and what? So I'm just talking about how you move them
like
to
trip
different
status
columns.
here?
Yes.
So
That was the word. Thank you.
Thank you, trip status. So right here next to this, you can just move that right along. Like, so once they're booked and waiting for, and following along here. Oh, and I'm so glad you said that.
Oh, and somebody wanted to see what all your sections were. Hey, put it up again.
Yeah,
I don't know who it was and if they're still here, but if you're not, there you go.
So I will do that. So anyway, you can just move them right along here as you want to. Let's just say these guys are paid in full, or they've deposited, they've gone through the insurance stuff, they're not paid in full yet though. And just you can move them along by just dropping that one. I have to say this was one of my recommendations. Okay, good.
And then how you move everything, your master to the group.
The master, the overlayer, I'm going to click on here and I'm just going to move it to groups. So then let's go see what that looks on the trips page. So now I have, let's see, I've got to see, where did I put people? Oh, you know what? I'm going to take the filter off for just a second. I always filter the sub trips out because I can't stand on having 55 things on here. So right now you can see all the sub trips, everything that's on here in here. Okay. They're all here. And then over here, excuse me, under the groups, you can see there's 3 sub trips, but they're also spread out all across the board. I personally don't like the spread out across the board look. I still can easily see where they're at by clicking on this and creating removing the sub trip. And this is someplace where you can decide what you prefer. Maybe in the very, very early part, maybe show the sub trip just so you can see that the trips are coming in. If you want to, you can move them across the board. That's a different thing. I have a tendency to go and check my trips almost daily to see what the new ones that are coming in. So you can see as I removed it so I couldn't view them at the filter, how it cleaned up my board a lot. But I still can see exactly how many sub trips I have. And I can click on them and see what I have there. I have no idea why this is there. We'll go there. Okay. So copy of these landing pages. Not really. And the reason, but you can duplicate them for yourself, but I don't know.
I think they were meant to, you know how like you can share the preview link?
You can't. Oh, you mean just like this?
Yes, I think that's what they were wanting.
Want just
to
link
see what it looked like it looked at.
Oh,
so they could just kind of look at it.
Oh yeah.
That was the feeling I got when I asked them questions.
So here's the link for the cruise that we did. Okay.
You just want to paste it. Oh, you did.
I'm just pasting them in here right now. I'm going to go to this is the one for the family reunion. And this is the one for I've moved it. Sorry. Moved it all the way over to here. The Irish Adventure. Okay. And I would publish that one. Now, that's done. Okay. I also told you guys that I would give you, I'm just about ready. I just was looking down my things and
I'm like, hold on. I think that's the next question.
Yeah, that is actually the next. I just realized I didn't put that on my regular outline, but I just thought, wait, we had workflows. I just wanted to show you guys that you can do a group workflow. And I did start one out just to kind of show you what some of the things to look at. And the way you look at a workflow for a specific generic trip is what are the things that you need to do for this trip that maybe isn't already in your regular workflows. So for instance, I went ahead and I created a workflow based on what on this trip. So I have like a welcome to Ireland trip automation that does send immediately after the trip is created. Now they're still also going to get my my other one, but in this welcome to Ireland, I let them know what's going to be there. If they don't have anything else they need to talk to me about it, don't worry about making an appointment, but it's there. I have touch points that I send throughout. I have, depending on how far out it is, because we know you can't if you're booking a trip that's 365 days out, we know we can't do flights until 330 days before the end of the trip date. So I have something there to remind me to send those out. And this is just a few things. So I create a workflow specifically for this trip. Okay. This is just a partial one. I do not have it all set up. I'm also going to show you how I came up with what I wanted to do. And then of course I can modify it and delete it as I want to. Let's see, I have a group itinerary workflow. This is what I asked it. You have created a group itinerary which needs to communicate with them and have touch points where they actually will travel. I could have added more things. We'll be going to Ireland and we'll be going to these different places, yada, yada, yada. I could have added a lot more details there. But basically, it tells me welcome right out immediately after booking. Here's some email suggestions. Here's some task suggestions. Here's some more email suggestions 6 to 9 months out. Here's some more task suggestions. These are just suggestions and recommendations to get you started. But you're going to notice there's nothing in here about final payments or anything like that because I have already taken care of those types of things in my workflows and that type of stuff here that I've already got set up. The way that I get this to attach to a client's group, I have the tag set as Ireland 2026. And I'll show you what I do is I went to the trip, go to the group level, and down here in tags, put Ireland 2026. I had already done it on this one. I apologize. For the other ones, so say I wanted to create ones for the 2027 VIP, I can come into settings, go to tags, create a tag called VIP 2027 or whatever you want to call it. Don't make it too long, but you want to make it something that you'll remember. While I'm here, I know I'm going to do the King family reunion, right? So I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to go ahead and put King family reunion. Because maybe we want them to do something special for that. So those are now set up and they are ready for me to create workflows for that specific itinerary. And then what I'll be able to do is I'll go to after I get that workflow created, I will go to the trip. I will add in the tags, I'll add King family reunion and it will put that on there. And then every trip that is not already a sub trip, so every new trip will now have that new workflow on it. And I can go back and actually apply it to these ones by simply going into here, scrolling down to tags, and I can add it to the ones that are existing. Okay, does that help? I think I need to do a class specifically just for creating a group workflow, but it's really just more a matter of figuring out what you need specifically for that trip. If you have a lead, like you have a head lead or whatever, Canny, there's actually a great one. I did 2 parts on it called creating your process or building your process in turn. And they were done in June and they were done in July. And there's a workbook with it. And we go through everything very much, giving you actions, teaching you how to create things. So I highly, highly recommend those. It's about 4 hours worth, but you could do it in just increments. And there is a workbook with it. So that's what I would recommend on that one. So,
That's it
okay.
for my list. So if anybody has any more that they want to type in.
Yeah, was there anybody else that had any questions that we did not cover for you? And I know it's a really weird thing, but do you guys want my assets for the resort, that I used, that I copied and pasted from? Okay.
Yes, please. Hey,
All
Chloe,
right. Yes.
remember back when you were creating a form and you had pop-ups that came up on the screen to where you had choices. Like, for example, it said, yes, I understand.
Yes.
And there were some yeses and some nos. Was that just your computer auto-saving those, or did those come from somewhere else?
Oh, that was my computer auto saving them. I know what you're saying. Like it was auto populating. That was my definitely my computer doing that. So, okay. All right. Any other questions? Oh, okay. And remember guys, Monica, that workflow, remember, is one that I pulled off I created here from that. So but I will go ahead and show it to you. I tell you what, I'm going to call this a sample. I'm just going to put sample of partial. Oops.
You're tired.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. Ireland. Oh my goodness, Chloe. Okay. And I am actually going to save this. I'm going to actually save this and share it. But you guys, I'm only going to give you guys, I'm not going to share this with everybody because let me show you why. Let me show you my emails. Share ideas about this. That's what my email looks like. Okay. Let's see. This one is info here.
So it's just a shell. Okay.
It's a shell. But I will share you the link with you guys so you have a place to start. Okay. It does help to have a place to start. So I'm going to just do this anyone with the link and I will give you this link. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm sharing it in the chat. Okay. So there you go. So if you guys would give me 2 seconds, I am going to go ahead and start saving these PDFs because this is just going to be something you're getting because you're here. All right. So it's going to get put in the chat. This is your bonus of being at the chat. Bonus of being here. And let's just put this PDF here. There's one. Done. Okay. I'm going to find each of these. Sorry, there's just so many here. Okay, I got the form, did the form one. I need the resort landing page. And again, you guys, just remember that these are just as guidelines to kind of help you. I guess the nice thing is they do tell you which, if I'm using for the title, or if I'm using an info block or that type of piece. So that kind of should hopefully help you a little bit. So, okay, there's the landing page for that one. And that's the resort. So now we're going to do the landing page for the landing page. How do you like that? I'm so clever in my names. Sorry. Oh my gosh. I sometimes look at my names and I think, what are you thinking? I guess they work. I just have to keep remembering they work, right? Okay. Landing page. Come on, where's the form questions? And the one of them I had a little bit was kind of screwed up. So just be aware that it's not exactly right. I don't know why that's not showing up. Oh, there it is, because it's right there. Okay. So we got that landing page form questions. There it is. My gosh. Okay. I think it was the forms questions. Just know that there's some things that are going to be out of order. But if you watch them, if you're forgetting what they are or what we needed to do, these are just ideas. These are just assets to hopefully help you be able to do a little bit easier. I think the forms part will probably be the most beneficial for you, just because sometimes when we start getting those to what do I need to put on my forms, our brains can freeze. I know that by the time I hit that point, I have made a lot of notes. Make notes as your clients are asking you things, thinking this is something I can put on a form, or that type of stuff. So you have that information. And the last one, whoops, the last one to save it as PDF. All right, guys. And I'm going to do you guys want the one that after the sign up, what to do with the client one? You test it and then sign up, and then what you're doing after the sign up. I mean, I know I said after sign up testing, that's because it's for the class, but you can remove the word testing and just know that this is used for after they sign up. Kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of things that you can do. Again, not the only way, just some ideas. I'm just gonna put after sign up. Okay, export. Okay. About ready to be bombarded here, guys. There's several of them. PDFs. What if it'll let me add all of them at one shot? Oh, yay. I don't have to load them all up separately. There you go. Boom.
Holy smokes.
Yay. I'm so happy. Okay, guys. Are there any other questions? You have all been rock stars going over. I just thought I literally blocked out my afternoon because I thought I am not leaving until you guys feel confident and stuff like that. So hopefully you all feel good about things, about how we're doing, etc. Now you can go watch some volleyball or some football or go sit on your porch or whatever. So you too, Julie. I've missed seeing you. Hopefully I'll see you more often. So, and I'm there. Hopefully I'll see a bunch of you guys. I was gonna say I'm going to ask you, are you going to be on the cruise? So, hey, for those of you guys that are going to be on the cruise, don't forget that you can go sign up for the one-to-ones. I know that they're going to be there. I can hardly wait. I'm so excited to see so many people. You guys should have received an email that says go sign up for your one-to-ones. And I know that a lot of spots are filling up. I know that all my spots filled up last night. I think Jennifer's probably full.
I'm not full.
Oh, ooh! If you guys are agency
Hold on,
owners,
I will put this in there.
it just okay. It did go out. They got another one that went out last night, Michelle. So double check. If you guys are agency owners, and you can get into Jennifer's one of her one-to-ones, do it. Or Scott's really good too. I don't know everybody else. Those guys I know they've helped me so much. So thank you.
I dropped the Calendly link in there for everybody's availability.
Oh, perfect. Oh, thank you. That's awesome. You are amazing. Thank you, Jen. So for those of you that are going on the cruise, this is important. This is only for those of you going on the cruise. Okay. All right. I think we're there. We did it. I need a drink. No, I'm just teasing. Hopefully that was very helpful. Again, as always, if you have any questions, you are always welcome to reach out to me via Facebook Messenger. I will post my my link for my one-to-ones. I can tell you there will not be anything available until after the cruise, which means you will not be able to see anything on it until Monday the 8th, because there's just not going to be there's just nothing there. It's all blocked and it's all taken. So I'm going to put that on there so you'll have it for later on. I love to be able to help you. You're so welcome, Jean. Hope this helped you. I know that this is one of your things that you're working on. So, and if anybody has any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for hanging with us for most of your Saturday afternoon. Now go have some fun and enjoy your family. And I can hardly wait to see your landing pages and stuff. Make sure you keep on. Yes, Kat and Jen and Cody. I know Cody was, Cody. I think Cody had to take off. Yeah, he did. So.
He did. He had a client call.
Yep, I was gonna say I thought he had a client call. So anyway, again, thank you, Jen and Kat. Could not have done this without you. So appreciate you all, and we'll see y'all later. Have an amazing day. Thanks.